YouTube. Hello, Twitch. Let me just quickly do like this, everyone, and say boop, boop, last Kingdom Hearts stream right now, people. There we go. Yes, you heard me say correctly. It is the last Kingdom Hearts stream today. We are going to be watching 4 videos. Gonna be watching this video right here, this video right here, this video right here, and this video right here. If you are watching this on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Also, maybe like the video, maybe comment, maybe go follow my Twitch channel. You know, all of those things. There's going to be an ad. I'm probably gonna wait with watching the videos until the ad is over. I'm gonna show my face though, because why not? Here I am. I am really happy about this being the final Kingdom Hearts episode video on YouTube. I looked over and I've had 70 days where the majority of my content is Kingdom Hearts, and I am so ready to be done with this little arc that I'm in. Not that I don't enjoy Kingdom Hearts, and I have enjoyed playing through all the games. It's been 2 months, 70 days of mostly Kingdom Hearts, and I feel like I've been very good at trying to keep up the excitement for each game. But I'm gonna be honest with you, YouTube, with you, chat. It's wearing on me like a little bit wearing on me. It's like a tiny little bit. Alright, the ad is officially over, so let's watch the Limit Cut and Secret episode. Let me just adjust the volume here. I think that should be fine. Go over here. I think this should be fine. Yes. I'll adjust the volume more if I need to, but I think this should be fine. Okay, so Riku is visiting Terra. Why are they just hanging out?
Well, look at you.
Look at us. Look at us.
I finally fulfilled my promise to you.
Yeah.
You did. Now there's nothing left for me to teach you.
But what do you mean? He's the master, not you.
Keyblade Master. Not to mention a great.
It's funny. Riku became a Keyblade Master before Terra did.
You even found the strength to save your friends.
Which is kind of funny.
It's not enough. The very fact that you were able to make your way here proves just how strong you are.
So I'm guessing this is supposed to be trying to find Sora?
More? Yes.
Are they going after Sora? Is this them going after Sora? Wife. Not those, not him though. But
oh, come on, tell me.
But there she is. Wife.
Are you sure about this?
God, I love Aqua.
Yes. But don't worry.
Why
I'm not alone
is
this time.
my Twitch not... There we go. I am not normal about Aqua.
Yeah.
Oh, oops. I forgot it was YouTube. Oh, that's nice. Seeing her old Keyblade again. Instead of the... Wait, what are they doing? Where are they going? Rika's like, when do I get my armor? Why don't I have armor? Where are they going?
Good luck.
Yeah, but where are they going? Wait, what? They didn't mention they were going anywhere, right? They were just like, are you sure? Yes. 1 year later? Huh? Huh? 1 year after... Okay, so 1 year after Kingdom Hearts 3, so Sora should now be like 19? What's with this music?
But if we still remember him, then he must still be with us.
Okay, they're talking about Sora.
Yes, that would stand to reason.
But we've been searching everywhere for Sora, and we haven't found a single clue.
Okay, so...
If he's really out there, don't you think we would have found something by
This is...
now?
Oh, wait, how... What the frick, Yuffie? Why do you look like you have your face squished
I've
in?
been looking into the data for a year now. Aren't the people at the castle doing
That's a
the
different
same?
voice for Leon.
No one's found anything yet?
Well, it's outside their field of expertise.
Come on, Sid. Can you throw us a bone here, please?
Be quiet! I'm trying. I'm this close to something. I know it.
I love Sid. Shut up!
Sid, you are a million times worse than a broken record.
By the way, how are the others?
Kyrie's depressed.
Well, Mickey, Donald, and Goofy are searching for clues in every past world that Sora's been to.
Okay, that's good.
Terra, Ven, and Aqua went to
Oh,
the realm
that's
of
where they
darkness,
went. Okay.
And the Twilight Town gang are studying Roxas and Shion's memories.
Okay.
What about Kyrie?
She's depressed.
Kyrie.
She's very depressed, probably. Oh, did she fall into a coma?
She believes her heart might hold a
Okay.
clue about
No,
Sora.
they're just studying her heart.
For a year, she's been sound asleep while they search her heart.
Oh!
So there's been no progress.
Oh, she is asleep. Oh, damn. Kyrie really said, without the love of my life, I'll just sleep the days away.
This computer, the one in Twilight Town, and the one in the castle are all connected to the same network.
Okay.
They sent me all of their data, and I merged it with the stuff I already had, and looky here.
No, Data Sora.
Sora.
Sora's inside the computer?
No, that's just the data I constructed based on Sora and his fighting abilities.
So you gave us a heart attack for nothing?
There's a second Data Sora.
That group Sora was fighting, battalion something? Well, I recreated their data too.
But why?
The real Organization 13. Maybe their data will lead us to where Sora is.
Well, it crossed my mind, but I must be better at this than I thought. Is their data? It's so powerful, I can't access any of it.
Can you use Sora's data to gain access?
Oh, good idea.
Why?
Shot.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where, oh, you have to beat all of the organization's data fights in order to progress through the story of this. And I'm not doing that on I'm not doing that on critical mode, and I don't want to play through the easiest difficulty just with easy codes just to get access to it. Hello, Fairy Godmother.
Fairy Godmother.
Oh, I hope I didn't startle you.
Not at all. What brings you here?
What?
Dear, I was asked to come by Merlin and Master Yen Sid.
Okay.
Now, where is... Oh, Riku. Yes, Riku is his name.
Here.
Why does she want Riku?
Why, it's nice to meet you. Now, I'd like you to tell me about the dreams that you've been having, dear.
Riku's been having dreams?
My dreams? There's one. It was dark, and I was surrounded by tall buildings.
Oh, yeah. The, Shibuya.
When I felt someone watching me from way up
Yozora watching him. Oh, wait, that's a dream sequence?
And that's all I remember.
But what happens next?
Oh, I know.
Huh?
Why Riku's dream?
Oh, because Master Yen Sid was worried. You weren't having any luck finding Sora. And because Riku had been in Sora's dreams before, he thought perhaps Riku just may be the key.
That is a
That's why
good thought process by Yen Sid.
And look into his dreams, since of course dreams are my specialty.
Okay, makes sense.
Riku's
Makes sense.
might hold the key?
Literally.
Yes, dear. I'm sure there's something there that leads to Sora.
Now, where's Tifa? Can we see Tifa as well as Aerith? Like, I love Aerith. She's my gal,
Another two.
but I want to see Tifa. Poor Kairi. Dude, just poor Kairi. Finally, after all these years, she was with Sora again, and then nothing. Then Sora vanishes because he was desperate to save her. That's Sora. Where are you? He is... Is that the final world? But it's dark.
At least I'm all here.
Hmm.
Hey! Is anyone out there?
I mean, it looks like the final world, but it could be. Hey.
Huh?
Hey. Hey.
Who's that?
Hey. Hey, you. You're finally awake.
Where are you?
Over here!
I'm guessing it's Yozora that he's talking to.
I see you.
Ah, there we go. Cooler Noctis. It's Cooler Noctis, guys. Riku?
Hey, aren't you?
You know me?
Yeah.
You're Yozora, right?
How do you know that? Who are you?
I'm Sora. And actually, there's something I have to ask you.
Sora? You're Sora?
Huh? You know who I am?
Sure. I've heard of you.
If you're here, then this
I wonder
can't be
if
the real world, can it?
the
Well,
Toy Story
that girl,
world
She told me about you. Maybe you
and
are
the peak Skyrim voice acting, by the way. Hey, you.
No,
You're finally awake.
and I am here.
You and that thief over there.
But this isn't what I really look like.
Wait, that's
How
not
do you recognize me as Yozora?
that's not how Yozora really looks like.
Why are you using Sora's name?
But he is Sora, dumbass.
Because I
Also,
am
hello, Lily.
Sora.
If you are who you say, and it was fate that brought us here, then my path is clear.
Oh, he has a gun.
What?
It's not a gun though. It's a crossbow. Pretty sure it's a crossbow. Yeah, it's a crossbow. Ooh, bright light. Is that actually where you fight him? Because I know you fight Yozora. There it is. There's the city. Hey, look! They're in Shibuya. They're in Japan. Not anime Japan, you know, regular Japan. on top of the 104 building. I don't know what the building is called.
Into this place and went through some trials.
Okay.
Then I was told to save Sora.
By who?
Huh? Then what's with the weapon?
God, his sword is so cool.
To end this.
Oh yeah, so this is where you fight Yozora in the game. God, look how much health he has. Are they actually gonna fight you? Okay.
You're done.
They lose, right? Oh, never mind. Do they
Your
lose?
power is mine.
Because there's a different cutscene whether or not you win or lose against Yozora. Oh, wait, did he just get a Keyblade? Oh, he took Sora's power. He took the Keyblade. What the fudge? He can do that? I didn't know Yozora could do that. Okay, but do we have to watch? Do we have to watch the entire fight? He's doing something. Let's see here. I'm just gonna fast forward until he either wins or loses. I don't know if he lost or he won. Looks like.
I guess that my powers aren't needed yet.
Okay, so that's the cutscene that when you win.
What do you mean?
Never mind.
Cooler not. Bye bye, Cooler Noctis. Bye bye, Cooler Noctis. I'll see ya at some point. I don't know when. Then Sora goes back to the final world. So that's the cutscene when you win against Yozora, and then Yozora is gonna wake up in his car.
Commander.
Yep. There he is.
Impressive, is it not?
What's impressive?
I've been having these weird thoughts lately. Like, is any of this for real?
Oh my god, I'm getting chills. Actual chills.
None of this makes sense to me.
Oh, wait, Dylan Sprouse is Yozora? Damn. An Oath to Return, Kingdom Hearts. They're not gonna show the cutscene that happens when Sora loses, though. When Sora loses in that fight, Yozora basically turns him into crystal. Like, he encases him in like a big crystal, and that's it. So that was the first video. Wait, which one did I watch? I watched this one, right? Yeah. Good, bad ending, good ending. Yeah, there's a bad ending, which is here. Let's see. So
Time to end this.
So this is the bad ending.
How could...
Wait.
Sorry, but I don't lose.
Sorry, but I don't lose. I'm too good. I'm too cool. Noctis sucks. And yeah, he turns him into crystal. You know, very Final Fantasy 13 like.
I will save you.
And then that happens. Yozora goes there to the final world. And then he wakes back up.
I've been having
And then it's literally the same thing.
thoughts lately.
It's literally the same thing. Alright, so the next video that I'm going to be watching is the entire story of Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, because this is important.
Other than that,
Hold on. I need to lower the volume a bit. Let's go down here.
after 8 years and 4 separate installments, the story of the Kingdom Hearts Key Saga has now
I should
unfolded.
probably
Events
like
that
the
took
video
place
first.
across
Remember to
these
always
games
like the
retroactively
videos.
set the stage for everything that would chronologically follow in the rest of the series, and will surely have tremendous influence on future titles. It's fundamentally the story of the Master of Masters, and his grand orchestration of events that would
I kind of hate how there's so many important lore bits to Kingdom Hearts that are locked behind unplayable games, like Union Key or Union Cross. Can't play it anymore. It's an old mobile game, not available. Same with Dark Road.
irreversibly alter the lives of his
So dumb.
disciples, his adversaries, thousands of innocent children, and the entire world itself. This video is a heavily condensed explanation of that story. I've been covering the story since 2018, so if you'd like to see a far less condensed version told as each update was released, check the
No,
playlist in the description.
condensed
And if
is
you'd like to see all
fine.
the cutscenes without my stupid voice talking over them, the option to watch them all in what I consider the ideal order is in the description as well. Without any
Condensed
further
is
ado,
fine.
Let's get started. This is the entire story of Kingdom Hearts Key, Key Back Cover, Unchained Key, and Union Cross.
Oh my god.
Let's dive in.
Key
Light
back
and
cover.
darkness are fundamentally at odds with each other.
Mhm.
Much like the physical concepts that these fantasy elements are based on, darkness can and does exist in literally every corner of the known universe. It is only the introduction of light that drives away and displaces the darkness, but deepening the darkness that is cast in the shadows. Long before Sora, Riku, and Kairi were ever born, a boy that would one day be known as the Master of Masters lived among other beings of light. But those beings were in conflict with beings of darkness, as natural opposites are wont to do. The combatants on both sides were mortal, and were able to attack and slay each other's physical bodies. But the conflict fundamentally changed when the forces of darkness attempted a drastic move that, if successful, would see them become undefeatable. They shed their physical bodies and reduced themselves to a formless existence, and without a physical body to destroy, they could never truly die. Attempting to attack these formless beings of darkness was ultimately pointless, as they would simply reconstitute themselves again.
Of course.
Worse still, these beings of darkness can now infiltrate the hearts of the beings of light, possessing and taking control of their bodies,
Makes
stripping
sense.
their victims of their dignity,
Sure.
as they were powerless to stop themselves from submitting to the darkness's bidding. The moment that the darknesses began to hide within the bodies of the beings of light was the beginning of what would come to be known as the Keyblade War. But what the Dark Forces didn't realize is that by abandoning their physical forms, they had inadvertently put themselves at risk of losing their individual will. With enough time, they would completely lose their ability to think independently, to form plans and to rationalize. They would be reduced to beings only capable of acting on instinct. But they could stave off that fate by inhabiting the bodies of people with hearts. So, not only was their possession of people a means of attacking the light, but it also became a necessity for preventing their willpower from fading away. And hearts tainted by negative emotions became the perfect targets for possession. Of all the beings of darkness that shed their form, 13 of these dangerous such darknesses existed. Shadows that retained their individual, independent will. Others were able to derive forms of their own.
So that's the original 13 darknesses. Right, so the 13 really powerful denizens of darkness. I'm gonna assume that's the original 13 darknesses.
Beings known as the Pure Blood Heartless.
The Pure Blood Heartless.
Into adulthood, he would lose many allies to the darkness, taken from him in humiliating deaths that saw his loved ones used as nothing but powerless pawns and vessels of the 13 darknesses. It seemed inevitable that the darkness would ultimately continue to spread and eventually extinguish the light. After all, they were literally undestroyable in their formless state.
Yeah,
But
sure.
over the years, that boy grew into a man and devised a momentous plan. One that would require immense and unforgivable sacrifice, but could ultimately secure victory, or at the very least, a ceasefire in this war. He began his plan in a world known as Daybreak Town, a world brimming with light, and a town whose people seemed oblivious to the greater war between light and darkness. At this time,
So this is the Master of
worlds were all
Masters
part of one
he's talking about.
enormous connected land known as the Realm of Light, and the man himself owned, or possibly created himself, a mysterious weapon known as a Keyblade. The man, now known as the Master of Masters, would select and train 6 apprentices, each filled with light and possessing a strong resistance to darkness. Step 1 of the plan was for the Master's 6th apprentice, Lushu, to be bequeathed the Master's Keyblade, embedded with the Master's very own eye. The Master had formed a temporal link with that eye, essentially allowing the Master to see through that eye into any moment in time that the Keyblade might one day be. Lushu was then instructed to take the Keyblade and a mysterious black box and travel out into the world, staying out of sight and not getting involved in the coming conflict at all. Eventually one day passing that Keyblade on to his own apprentice, and from that apprentice to a future apprentice, and so on, but continuing to watch over it from a safe distance until the Keyblade fell into the hands of its intended wielder. This would take countless lifetimes, and to achieve this, Lushu would have to eventually cast his body away and sequester his heart into the body of someone new, many, many times, as each vessel reached the end of its natural life.
See, I think when Lushu did that, considering what he just said about how the original darkness did the same thing to people, right, by taking over their hearts and corrupting their bodies and basically becoming them. That's literally what Lushu did, though, right? So Lushu essentially became the darkness, or at least did the same thing as the darkness did. True darkness, I mean.
It would take countless lifetimes, but Lushu would be there to watch over the Master's Keyblade as it made its way naturally through time, being present for every major moment in history there would ever be. With the ability to peer into any moment in the future from the Keyblade's perspective, the Master of Masters wrote down the events he saw in a book known as the Book of Prophecies. He gave a copy of this book to each of the other 5 apprentices, who would come to be known as the Foretellers, along with a new name, Keyblades, and a role that they had to play that must be kept a secret from the rest of the Foretellers. The 5 Foretellers each read their copies of the books and learned the horrible truth that awaited on the final page. The world would be lost. Darkness would prevail and light expire. The 5 Foretellers, bastions of light and Keyblade Masters in their own right, yearned to prevent this tragedy from occurring, but were explicitly forbidden by their master from forming alliances or going against their given role. They were simply to create their own unions and recruit the various children of Daybreak Town to those unions as Keyblade wielders, where those children would be tricked into collecting the physical light from the world and hoarding it within each of those 5 unions. The Master also planted the idea that a traitor lurked among the Foretellers. That one of the 5 was secretly working to ensure the downfall of the light.
Why would he do that?
Trust or confide in no one but themselves. The Foretellers would be manipulated into distrusting, then hating each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Destined to lead the children that pledged their loyalty to them against the other unions in an event of mutually assured destruction that would one day be known as the Keyblade War.
I mean, the Master of Masters must have done this on purpose, right? Like, because he purposefully made them distrust each other by giving them roles that conflicted against each other and forcing them to not be allowed to cooperate, right? Eventually creating strife, ensuring that the first Keyblade War happened.
And with his plan in place, the Master of Masters disappeared from the world, vanishing without a trace, not to be seen again for hundreds, if not thousands of years.
Yeah, we don't have an
This
actual
caused the
time
Foretellers to
frame
feel
for how long
genuine,
this was.
terrible pain, frustration, helplessness, hopelessness, and sadness, an entire cocktail of emotional suffering. All they could do was stand helplessly by and await the inevitable, powerless to go against the Master's explicit orders, lest they be thought of as the traitor by the rest of the 5. Their secret role only served to accelerate the journey to their inevitable confrontation.
Yeah, and he also gave them secret roles that the others didn't know about. They had, like, official roles, right? But then they also had their secret roles. I think the only people without secret roles were Ira and Envy. Like, Ira was just supposed to be the leader. Everybody knew that. And then Envy's role was just to observe. Now, she did start to report things to Ira, which was not a part of her role, but that's besides the point.
As each union leader struggled to gain more light than the other, in the fear that the Traders Union would gain enough light and use it to do something drastic like summoning Kingdom Hearts, the source of all light in the world. But the Master desired for exactly this to happen because the Foretellers were trained to withstand the destructive emotional turmoil. The negative emotions they harbored would unknowingly make them the perfect bait. Of those 13 darknesses we spoke of, 5 of them would be unable to resist the temptation of invading the Foretellers' hearts. But once they infiltrated the Foretellers, they would find themselves unable to take control of the Foretellers' bodies, trapped by the Foretellers' unwavering hearts that still shone with light, no matter the darkness that attempted to extinguish it. Well, I should say 7 darknesses. The Master's plan was also for himself and Elushu to harbour one of the 13 darknesses within their hearts, and in conjunction with the unknowing Foretellers, the 7 most deadly darknesses would be sealed away within these 7 hearts. Until the Keyblade War, that is. As fate, or the Master intended, the Foretellers would lead their unions into war at what would come to be known as the Keyblade Graveyard, and fight to the death over Kingdom Hearts. The events played out seemingly exactly as the Master intended, and though Ava's fate is unclear, it is assumed that at least Ira, Aced, Gula, and Envy perished, as did the darknesses trapped within their hearts, as did the thousands of children recruited into the unions. We can't be certain yet, but let's say 5 of the 13 darknesses housed within the Foretellers presumably perished in the Keyblade War, and with the one still trapped in the Master, as well as the one trapped in Lushu, that left 6 darknesses to be dealt with. But at such tremendous cost, the lives of thousands of children and the entire world itself were the price the Master paid, just to rid the world of up to...
Alright, we're gonna take a small little break because there's an ad. But for YouTube, I guess I can take a little bit to gather my thoughts right now. So, Master of Masters is one of the original denizens of light. One of the beings of light, at least from his own. At least that's what you can tell from what he says and stuff. He manipulated so many people just to extinguish or just to kill 5, at least 5. Of the 13 deadly darknesses. The 13, like, true darknesses. That's insane, considering how many people died in the Keyblade Wars. Like, there's a reason why there's so many Keyblades there, right? Because their wielders died. And yeah, we don't know the fate of Ava, but we do know at least Envy, Ira, Envy, Aced, and Gula presumably died, and then get summoned back by Lushu at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. Alright, add over, time to continue.
As said, the Keyblade wielders had spent their days unknowingly siphoning the light from the world, leaving it, in my mind, hollowed and empty, primed to be destroyed as a casualty of the destructive force of the Keyblade War, shattering the realm of light into thousands of independent pieces and scattering them, making each piece completely inaccessible from each other, and surrounded by darkness that flowed in to close the empty space between. These separated pieces would one day be known as the independent worlds, but protected by barriers that prevented exit and kept them completely ignorant of each other's existence, seen only by their once connected neighbors as stars in the sky. The Master orchestrated such merciless destruction, the ruination of the realm of light, the sacrifice of the Master's most loyal and devoted followers, and the thousands of children that pledged their allegiance to the Foretellers themselves, all to defeat a handful of the forces of darkness. In fact, it seemed the sole survivor of the Keyblade War was... us. Well, our character, the playable character of Kingdom Hearts Key. To rewind briefly, we started our journey by being recruited into one of the 5 unions, and spent our days collecting Lux with our Chirithy partner, as our foreteller instructed in the Disney worlds. We didn't really question our reality or our mission until we met another young wielder from a different union, Ephema. He challenged the story he had been told, correctly believing that the worlds we traveled to were nothing but illusions. The Heartless we fought were fake, and the light we were collecting was the light of the world itself, not light stolen by the Heartless. We quickly formed a friendship with Ephema, and together tried to sneak into the Daybreak Town Tower after seeing the mysterious location in a dream and feeling compelled to visit it.
Hmm.
It took us all
Okay.
day to find the secret entrance, and we decided that we'd come back tomorrow so as not to arouse suspicion among our union leader with our absence. However, we never got the chance. Despite waiting for Ephemera all day at the Fountain Square, he never arrived. A girl called Strelitzia noticed just how sad and disappointed we were, though.
Strelitzia.
She wanted to introduce herself, but never quite worked up the courage. A few months later, a girl named Skuld approached us with a warning. Ephemera had contacted her in her dreams and wanted to warn both Skuld and us that the Keyblade War was almost upon us, and as such, the world was about to end. We rushed to the Daybreak Town Tower, fighting through Darklings, children that had become corrupted by darkness, ironically in their pursuit of defending the light, and a Chirithy that had also been infested with darkness, and found Master Ava, where she confirmed to us that yes, the world was about to end, and asked if we'd like to join a group called the Dandelions. As I mentioned earlier, each of the foretellers had a secret role that they were forbidden from sharing with the others, and Master Ava's was to ensure that there would be survivors after the Keyblade War.
Yeah, the Dandelions.
Keyblade wielders from all the 5 unions, those most resistant to the darkness, those brimming with light, and train them to enter a different world instead of fighting in the Keyblade War. These chosen wielders would be known as the Dandelions, and in this new world there would be no memories of any strife between the foretellers, no memory of the Keyblade War, no painful emotions for the darkness to take root in. However, in this new world there would be 5 new union leaders to watch over the Dandelions in the foretellers' stead. When the Master of Masters gave Ava her role, he instructed her to recruit 5 specific Keyblade wielders and make them take over as leaders of the Dandelions that would escape to this new world after the foretellers had perished. Ephemera was one of these new union leaders.
Yeah, I
The reason
figured.
he was unable to meet our character at the Fountain Square was because he was assisting the preparation of this new world. The Master had written the names of Ephemera, Skuld, Strelitzia, a boy named Lorium, and a boy named Brain on a list for Ava.
Lorium and
to
Brain.
recruit them as Dandelions and promote them as the new union leaders in this new world. One of these union leaders was circled in red, and Ava was to give that union leader their own copy of the Book of Prophecies. This alternate world was actually a data backup of Daybreak Town and the false worlds that the Keyblade wielders had been visiting. The data backup was made to be a near-perfect replica of these illusionary worlds, along with a data backup of all the
Hey, look, it's
people in
Roxas.
Daybreak Town.
No,
The
sorry, I
belief
mean
was that the Dandelions
Ventus.
would be safe in this data version of the world, sheltered in a place that the destruction of the Keyblade War could not reach. However, the remaining darknesses could. Just as the Master has selected 5 apprentices to become the foretellers, who would each trap a darkness within their hearts and perish in the Keyblade War, he had also orchestrated for the 5 new union leaders to also unwillingly house one of the remaining 6 darknesses within them.
Of course.
And the one final darkness would be trapped within this data world, as it inevitably fell to destruction as well. These 5 would not be felled in this time. Rather, they would be sent to the future, where a new generation of Keyblade wielders would be tasked with ending them. This was the plan as the Master of Masters described it to his apprentice Luxu. He would directly sacrifice 12 people, including Luxu and himself, as well as the entire world and the lives of thousands of children.
Just to
all
kill.
to defeat the darkness. His young student Luxu was the
Imagine being so driven or so afraid of the darkness that you want to destroy the entire world to get rid of the darkness. The entire world. Not only do you purposefully sacrifice your apprentices and your apprentices' apprentices, and yourself, obviously, of himself as well, but also the entire world, just to be rid of the darkness.
Plan, feeling that the cost was too great, that the lives of all these people were not simply his master's playthings. The boy was bubbling with rage, but seemed to calm down slightly when the master revealed he had a safety plan for all those he planned to sacrifice. Likely, in my opinion, the data backups of the various people in Daybreak Town.
The data
young master
backups.
walked away silently with the box in hand to carry out his stated mission, as the master wished his apprentice well. Whatever Luxu's heart told him was right, whatever he thought, whatever he felt, whatever actions he took, Luxu was the key to the future.
May your heart be your guiding
Luxu
key.
would inevitably defy the master's spoken wishes. In a sense, Luxu was a traitor. This is the problem with predestination paradoxes. The Master had looked into the future and written a book filled with invaluable and presumably accurate information about what that future would contain. He had forbidden Lu Shu from reading it, but
I do not think that the Book of Prophecy was accurate at all. I think he purposefully made the book inaccurate in places in order to make sure that the Keyblade War happened.
Apparently allowed his adversary, the Darkness, to have a peek. And he had also told Lu Shu the entire plan. But once you know what the future holds, you can make an effort to change it. Like I said, the Master said that his plan was for these 12 people to become traps for the Darkness. But things deviated from that plan. With mere days before the Keyblade War, Strelitzia combed through Daybreak Town searching for our character, trying desperately to save us from having to fight in the Keyblade War. When one of the Darknesses possessed a lonely young boy named Ventus, and used his body to murder Strelitzia and take her green rulebook, allowing Ven to infiltrate the Union leaders unknowingly as an imposter. Master Ava had also slightly disobeyed the Master of Masters by changing who she gave the Book of Prophecies to, instead handing it to Brain, believing that his heart would guide him on how best to use it, and hoping that by changing the events that were written in the Book of Prophecies, perhaps the ultimate outcome could be changed as well. And Lu Shu allowed Ava to confront her, revealing what he believed to be the truth about the traitor and the Master's intentions, shaking her to her core, and possibly making her deviate from her intended fate. We don't really know just yet. Other than that, the first part of the plan seemed to go off without a hitch. Like I said, it is implied that Ira, Aced, Envy, and Gula, and possibly Ava, perished in the Keyblade War. The Dandelions did as they were trained to do and escaped into the new world, not realizing they had entered a data version of the world they already knew, and were having their memories overwritten by their Dorothy partners.
Okay.
Our character had chosen not to escape with the Dandelions. We had been taunted by the Dark Chirithy, and it claimed that it belonged to us, and instead, we joined our union on the final battlefield, and withstood attack after attack from each of the other 4 foretellers. The battle nearly killed us, and as we lay mortally wounded, we were saved only by the intervention of Skuld and Ephema, who returned from the dream world they had been awaiting the war in and rescued us, sending us to the data world with the rest of the Dandelions, causing us to also lose our memories of the strife in the process. And, as instructed, the Union leaders assembled in the Keyblade graveyard after the Keyblade War had concluded, formally meeting each other for the first time, and, at this stage, not realizing anything was wrong.
Lauriam, or,
was among them. They soon joined
as we know him, Marluxia.
Alternate Daybreak Town, not realizing that instead of the world they had practiced entering, they were now in a data world, and that they were now trapped within it. But once in that data world, it gradually became apparent that things had gone off course. For a start, Strelitzia's absence was noted by her brother, Lauriam. He sought out her former
Marluxia and Larxene
for any clues about her whereabouts, and she revealed that Strelitzia was last seen searching for our character, right before the Keyblade War. Ephema and Lauriam paid us a visit, and although we couldn't help out, given that we'd never actually spoken to Strelitzia, we agreed to keep her in our heart. We finally got to spend some time with Ephema again, but unfortunately it was cut rather short, as we soon noticed some strange glitchy occurrences in Daybreak Town, and we went to go investigate. We returned to the tower with Ephema, as the intelligent brain claimed to have stabilized the glitches, and correctly guessed that we must be in a data version of Daybreak Town. These glitches seemed to be occurring because our data world was being forcibly connected by a strange other world that didn't belong to the realm of light as we knew it. Ephema and our character teamed up to check out this strange world, and found out that it was a hub world of sorts, connecting to several other data worlds.
A hub
full of characters
world.
that were innately aware that they lived in data worlds. We chased some Darklings who seemed to be searching for someone in particular through this hub world and its connected worlds, and tried to learn why the glitches had invaded Daybreak Town. We met a villain of this world, and though we suspected him of being the source of the glitches and the darkness, we eventually realized that he didn't have any darkness inside him. This world had good guys and bad guys, but they didn't seem to be motivated by
it's the Wreck-It Ralph hub world.
The Darkling and pursued it into the Candy Kingdom, and our presence seemed to stabilize the glitches of the young Vanellope. Eventually, we
there's that guy.
Track down the last of the mutated Darkling Dark hybrids. Just like
gosh.
was a princess but decided to be a racer, our Chirithy wondered if we might also have another version of ourselves. Maybe even one that potentially belonged to the darkness. With our leads exhausted, we decided to return home to Daybreak Town. During this time, The intelligent brain quickly put it together that not only was Strelitzia supposed to be a Union leader, and that one of the 5 was in her place, but he also correctly ascertained that there were intangible beings of darkness pulling the strings behind the scenes.
Wait, his charity has a hat?
That Ephema, Skuld, and Ventus with the intention of privately telling Ventus that his name wasn't on the list of Union leaders. The poor boy initially refuted the idea. He was so sure that it had been Master Ava that approached him, walked with him to the Daybreak Town Tower, and given him his green rulebook. But by searching deep within his repressed memories, Ven realized that, indeed, something terrible had happened. His body had been used to commit a dreadful atrocity, and tricked him into believing Master Ava had chosen him. He was never meant to be a Union leader, and the poor boy passed out from the pain of the revealed memories. Lorien wasn't present because, again, he was out searching for his sister's whereabouts, and he stumbled across Maleficent.
Why is Maleficent there?
Okay, so, recall that in Kingdom Hearts 1, Maleficent suffered a defeat against Sora and had her heart unlocked by the Ansem-possessed Riku.
Uh-huh.
Kingdom Hearts, man. At this moment, her heart left her body, and she remembered that a strange old man had told her long ago, without the burden of a body, her heart could travel through time to a prior version of herself. She attempted to travel back about 10 years to the time of birth by sleep, but in doing so, fell for the trap that the Master of Masters had set for her, travelling all the way back to the age of fairy tales, and to the data version of Enchanted Dominion. Once here, she got beat up again by our player character, and was frustrated that the events played out exactly as they had the first time around. A Keyblade wielder, paired with Prince Philip, still managed to defeat her.
Yeah.
She exclaimed her frustrations aloud, and one of the 13 Darknesses answered her, revealing to her that she was trapped in a data world far further in the past than she had attempted to travel to. The Darkness escorted her to the Data Daybreak Town and led her down to the tower basement. Well, the Data tower basement. Here, the Darkness informed her that this was the only method accessible.
Wait, so there's a true darkness inside Maleficent as well? Wait, hold on, what the hell? So there's one inside Ventus, there's one inside Maleficent. There were 5 of them inside the Foretellers, so that's 7. There's one inside the Master of Master, that's 8. One inside Lucia, that's 9. And then that leaves 4 of them, which should have been inside the new Union leaders.
To her to leave the data world. These 7 arcs. Using an arc would transport its occupant into the real-world version of this room, the basement of the real Daybreak Town Tower.
Oh, right, because the true darkness inside her is the one that was intended to be locked inside the data version of Daybreak Town forever. And never released. And eventually perish here.
About to enter one of the pods, she was approached by, as previously mentioned,
Not
Lorien,
Lucia.
who confronted the intruder, but was badly beaten by her, destroying one of the 7 data arcs in the process.
Oh,
Maleficent
that's
and
not good.
this darkness took the rightmost arc from the data version of the Daybreak Town basement to the real Daybreak Town basement, where Maleficent eventually agreed to take the now real-world version of this pod and be transported back to the future. As the
time travel via arcs, lifeboats, pods, max of 7 can exist in each data world and real world. Data arcs prints you in the real world.
Accelerated to the speed of light, it would strip away its occupant's body, leaving nothing but a
accelerates the speed of light,
past the
strips
speed of
body
light,
away.
and travel through time to its intended destination.
Okay.
A destination that is determined by following a waypoint. To be completely reformed from that heart at your destination, you require 2 things. You need a medium to reform your body with, and
Right.
you need someone that remembers you, that holds
Okay.
memories of you, to repopulate your own body with your own memories, to give you a sense of self. Darkness has apparently
Right.
read snippets of the Book of Prophecies, and seen that Maleficent exists in it shortly after her defeat in Kingdom Hearts 1, so that's her waypoint. And anyone that's played Kingdom Hearts 2 will remember her being reformed from a cloak left behind after her defeat, which acts as the medium, and the memories were unintentionally provided by the 3 good fairies.
Yeah,
allowing her
I
to be
remember
fully
that.
Recompleted at the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2.
Okay.
So, Darkness convinced Maleficent to
So
enter.
so that's how Maleficent came back, because they remembered her, and her being remembered allowed her to go back to the future. So she got defeated in Kingdom Hearts 1, went back in time to this timeline, learned all of this, and then went Back to the Future in Kingdom Hearts
and she
2.
took one of the 7 pods from the real world. So that's 1 gone from the real world, 1 gone from the data world, and 1 destroyed in the data world. The darkness did not travel with her into the future, it remained in the real world.
Okay.
But no sooner had Maleficent departed than it was approached by Luxu.
Oh.
As Lauriam lay defeated on the ground, he dreamed of a more peaceful time with his sister Strelitzia, recalling that he teased her about this silent Keyblade wielder that she had developed something of a crush on. This moment of bliss was quickly interrupted though, as Lauriam's dream was seemingly contacted by some version of his sister in a white robe, and the shock was
A
enough to
white
jolt him out of
robe?
slumber.
Wait, there's
The same
white
vanished and the
robe
room was
people as
empty,
well?
so there was nothing left for Lauriam to do but return to the other Union leaders. Poor Ven awoke from his slumber, fully remembering what had happened to him, and also headed back to his Union leader pals. Skuld, Ephema, and Brain discuss what had happened. They think Ven was telling the truth, but infer that there must be forces of darkness acting much closer than they realize. They wonder if the darkness may come for the Union leaders. Heck, it may have already come for Strelitzia. At the same time, the wounded Lauriam finally reached his comrades, and quickly became enraged at the idea that the rest of the Union leaders had been hiding knowledge of his sister from him. The crucial knowledge
Oh,
that
gosh.
she had been murdered. He lashed out at his allies, playing exactly into Darkness's plan by harboring terrible negative emotions
Yep.
towards his fellow Union leaders. Ven also arrived and confessed his responsibility out of guilt, turning Lauriam's wrath upon himself. But as Ephema held off his enraged ally, Ven screamed in pain as the darkness that was hiding within his body finally revealed itself. Brain began to question the strange being in front of them, and the darkness revealed several things, such as that their main goal was expansion and infection. The darkness
Expansion and
to reach and infect every world, and planned to soon infect the countless currently uninfected worlds that were connected to the game's central station.
Okay.
The Daybreak Town was about to be destroyed as part of the Master's plan to trap the remaining darknesses.
Yeah,
While
yeah.
that first darkness sending Maleficent into the future, it had started an irreversible process to end this world. This darkness took control of Ven because the Book of Prophecies stated that he was a being that would harbor darkness in the future, and tried to convince the Union leaders that Ven wanted power, and the darknesses simply tried to give him his wish by striking Strelitzia down and usurping her position as a Union leader. Lauriam took the bait and attacked, but the injured wielder was effortlessly flicked aside, joining Ventus in unconsciousness. Brain ascertained that there indeed were multiple darknesses, but the one in front of the Union leaders was the only one present right this moment, so he rallied Skuld and Ephema to attack it, without success.
Yeah, because
Eventually,
it's
the darkness
formless.
confessed
You can't
that
defeat
Ventus
him.
was not to blame for Strelitzia's death, and Lauriam joined his allies against their new foe. This was the exact moment that our character emerged from the Candy Kingdom with Keyblade in hand, making the fight a 5 versus 1. A fight that we were able to win, but again, to no avail. The formless darkness could not be destroyed.
Yeah, exactly,
It was
'cause it's
immediately able
formless.
to reconstitute itself. Ventus awoke and realized that this darkness had used him, extracting all of his own natural internal darkness from within his heart as it exited his body, leaving Ven as a pure light.
Yeah.
The poor boy was the target the Darklings had been searching for, but he embraced his status as a pure light and marched confidently towards the darkness, intending to withdraw it within himself once more and give his fellow Union leaders a form for the darkness that could be permanently destroyed. He told Lauriam that everything was going to be okay as he leapt towards the darkness, seemingly successful in his attempt to draw it back within his heart and falling into a deep sleep. Shortly after, Lauriam watched over his sleeping ally, apologized.
Yeah, and that's the darkness you fight in the first fight of Remind. It's also what Vanitas is made of, right? Because, you know, Xehanort did the mistake of taking out Ventus's darkness, which turned into Vanitas. And the negative emotions, which is what the darkness is needed to inhabit their hearts. God, everything is connected. Everything is connected in this game. God damn it.
For acting rashly, but ominously concerned that the darkness still slept within Ven. The awful train of thought was interrupted by Strelitzia's presence once more, a faint apparition that prayed for her brother to let go of these venomous thoughts and emotions instead of stoking them.
What is
Ephema
not
interrupted
connected
and
in
let
this
Lauriam know
world?
That Elrena had arrived. She wished to speak to him with further news that might help him.
Luxine.
A couple of days ago, Strelitzia's figure seemed to have been spotted in the Data Daybreak town, walking with one of the Masters. It seems that Lushu has entered the Data Daybreak town and potentially collected the data backup of Strelitzia, and may have extracted what he could of it from the data world. But the Dandelions didn't have time to chat. With Maleficent's departure, the timer had begun, and this world was coming to an end. Brain scooped up the Book of Prophecies, Lorium scooped up Ventus, and together the group went downstairs into the basement. And now, we can return back to Lushu and another of the Darknesses in the real world. Lushu carried a white cloak under his arms, and approached his adversary, who was surprised to see him. From its hasty reading of the Book of Prophecies, the Darkness believed that all the Masters would be gone by this point. Lushu activated the terminal, and sent this mysterious white coat away into the future, using one more of the 7 real-world pods, referring to it as the True Dandelion, again to the surprise of Darkness. The True Dandelion slumped under his arms as Lushu carried it, and was therefore seemingly unable to walk on its own. Quite
So there's
unlike
5
the
pods.
Strelitzia Lushu.
Okay, so there's 5 pods remaining for 5 people that went into the future. I'm guessing Larxene and Marluxia are 2 of them, or Lorium and Elrene were 2 of them, because they are part of the organization, right?
She was seen walking with only days before, and there were also no distinctive tufts of orange hair that could be seen from under the hood. Strelitzia's real body faded from this world when she was struck down, so perhaps this True Dandelion is in some way connected to Strelitzia, perhaps a collection of her data memories stored formlessly in this white robe. I suppose it doesn't have to be Strelitzia though, and this will be discussed in its own video soon. Lushu is again choosing to interpret the Master's instructions, rather than following them to the letter, which seems to be what the Master of Masters actually wants, and is counting on. That makes him a traitor in the strictest sense of the word, but it is Lushu's unpredictable nature that the Master seems to believe is the wildcard factor in eluding the darkness, and ultimately prevailing over it.
Right.
Despite Darkness's taunts, Lushu affirms his loyalty to the Master. Even though he can't tell what the mysterious man is thinking, Lushu is certain that the Master of Masters is no fan of the darkness. Lushu questions this darkness, trying to ascertain the status of the ones that remained after the Keyblade War, believing that there should be 6. It's interesting that Lushu can see that things have deviated from the Master's stated plan though. If everything was going as intended, there would only be 1 free darkness right now, but that is clearly not the case. 1 is currently in front of him in the real world, 1 was just fought by the Union leaders, 7 should have been trapped within the Foretellers, the Master of Masters and Lushu, and that leaves 4 unaccounted for. This darkness is again taken off guard by the depth of Lushu's knowledge, but affirms that yes, the 4 Lushu was concerned about are still in the data world, meaning that the one with Lushu now is the only thing standing in his way. It's pointless to try and destroy this formless darkness, but perhaps Lushu has come up with another plan, as he draws the Master's blade and approaches his foe. The implications of what happens next are enormous, but I'm sorry to say that we don't actually get to see. Instead, we return to the data version of this room, as the Union leaders have just arrived. Time is running out for this world. Only 5 usable pods remain, and they need to make a decision.
Oh, right. Ventus is also one of them who go to the future. So Ventus, Elrene, and Lorium, all 3 of these go to the future, right? And there's 5 pods remaining, because 2 have been taken. Wait, no, there's 4 pods remaining, because 2 have been taken and 1 have been destroyed.
After some discussion,
so there's only
they
4
come to the
pods.
Understanding that Brain stands the best chance at freeing all the Dandelions, not just the Union leaders, if and only if he's able to control things from the real world. Lorium, Elrena, and the unconscious Ven will accompany him, while Ephema, Skuld, and the player will stay on the data side and take care of things from this end. As Lorium, Elrena, and the unconscious Ven enter their pods, Brain bequeaths Ephema with the Master Defender and the copy of the Book of Prophecies Ava gave to him, believing that they were always meant for Ephema, and Ephema agrees to hold onto them for Brain temporarily until they see each other again. Brain tells Ephema, "May your heart be your guiding key," and at this moment, there are 4 friends present, and a key. Brain also enters a pod, and together the 4 Dandelions escape into the outside world, leaving 1 unused for now on this side. As soon as they arrive,
Yeah, one on that
Brain
one.
begins his attempts to bring Ephema, Skuld, and the player across as well. But seeing his time is limited, he insists that Lorium, Elrena, and Ven use 3 of the real pods and escape into the future first, ensuring the survival of the light. Brain can't be sure when or where the pods will take these three, but asks Lauriam to keep his goal of finding his sister in mind. That will serve as his waypoint. The two Union leaders share a touching farewell, as Lauriam and Elrena join the still unconscious Ven in their pods. But as Brain seals them in, the room starts to violently shake, and Lauriam can only call out his ally's name before he is immediately whisked away into the future.
And
Brain
those
turns and sees what Lauriam is trying to warn him of.
two
Someone
pods.
else has entered the room. Master
There's Luxu.
approaches Brain and essentially asks him about the status of the Union leaders, perhaps as a test, with Brain confirming that one was struck down, Strelitzia, one escaped moments ago, Lauriam, and two were trapped within the data world, along with the player character, Ephema and Skald. Luxu wonders if Brain will be taking one of the remaining pods, but Brain insists that he will be sending the two currently in this world back into the data world, and with the one that still exists there, he will bring Ephema, Skald, and our character back across and send them into the future, before dedicating his life to staying alive amidst the dying world and trying to free the remaining dandelions.
Okay.
Luxu approaches the young wielder, chastising him for his recklessness. Once the lifeboats depart, that's it. There will be no awakening the Data Daybreak town after it falls into the slumber of darkness. It's a trap designed for exactly this purpose, to cage the darknesses and prevent their escape. There will be no way to unlock it. He continues, letting Brain know that these lifeboats are incomplete. Anyone using one of them needs two things at their destination in order to become complete again. Someone with memories of them, and a vessel to occupy, which is interesting, given that that's very different from how the Master of Masters phrased it.
Yeah.
You needed a medium to reform your body, not a vessel to possess. Brain didn't know the exact details of how these things worked.
Yeah, like the Master of Masters says you just need a medium to reform your body, and this could be things like clothes. That simple, right? Just something to form around, or something that you can form your body into. Which is probably what these these robes are supposed to be originally. There's gonna be another ad playing, so I'm gonna take like a little bit of a break. I will try to do something. Hold on. All right, there might. Hold on. Let me do something. Let me go down to 5,500 kbps. Alright, I'm just talking with my mod because my mod is having problems watching the stream because of error 3000. Encountered an error while decoding the video. What if I do... I haven't really done anything though, that's the problem. Hello? Hello, can everybody see the stream, or is it broken for people? Hello? Chat, can you hear me? Type 1 if you can hear me. Type 2 if you can't hear me. Okay, I'm not seeing anyone's. The only thing I can think of that might have done something is changing my audio to be I have done something with my audio. Yeah, I did change my audio to be 7.1 surround. That might be why things aren't working fully on Twitch. Right, let me stop stream for like a little bit. Alright, am I back? Am I back? Are we back, chat? Okay, changed it back to stereo. Are we so back? Hello? 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 Testing, testing. Say 1 in chat if it's working. 1 in chat if it's working. And it works? Okay, so it was the audio that was the issue. Okay. I'm guessing Twitch doesn't support 7.1 surround. I wonder what Twitch does support. Maybe 5.1? I don't know. Not gonna test that now. Anyway, time for more of this.
Plan, but no matter what, he is determined to succeed, no matter how long it takes. Luxu makes his way to within arm's reach of Brain, and complimented him on his intelligence, before lamenting that he only had 1 lifetime to live. We don't see what happens next, but again the implications are huge. What happens is intentionally left ambiguous, likely because the exact occurrence will be elaborated on further in future Kingdom Hearts titles. But believe me, we can make some assumptions.
Guys?
While this conversation between Luxu and Brain has been happening in the real world, Ephema, Skuld, and our character have been busy in the data world as well. No sooner did their companions leave when they were set upon by the 4 aforementioned darknesses. The ones whose whereabouts Luxu wasn't sure of.
Oh, hello,
they
4
approached
darknesses.
Ephema, Skuld, and the player with an ultimatum. Given that it had taken 5 dandelions to defeat just 1 darkness, attempting to fight against 4 darknesses with only 3 dandelions would be pointlessly impossible. The darknesses assumed that the dandelions were about to make their escape from this dying world, and only asked that the dandelions kindly open them a portal into the data worlds before they left, seeking to infect those currently neutral worlds. They required a Keyblade to unlock those doors, and if Ephema didn't agree, then they'd simply possess the player character and do it themselves. But there was no way the Heroes of the Light would agree to aid the darkness willingly, so the 3 Keyblade wielders took up arms against their hopelessly powerful foes. Knowing their odds, Ephema whispered under his breath for our character to jump into an arc as soon as the fighting began and escape. He and Skuld would sacrifice themselves to keep the darkness busy. Our character looked around and realized the hopelessness of the group's situation. Then, with a small smile, realized what had to come next. We revealed the horrible news. Ventus had not been successful in trapping the darkness we battled earlier within his heart. It had nestled itself within our heart instead. Now in control of our body, we commanded the other darknesses to stand by as we attacked Ephema and Skuld with our full power.
There's 5
as they were forced
oh
to
gosh.
retaliate in kind.
Okay.
Yet, with our tremendous strength, we were able to overwhelm both of our allies, causing them to keel over in pain and exhaustion. We stood over Skuld, raising our Keyblade high as if to strike her down with it, and launched taunts at Ephema, hoping to stoke his rage, sorrow and anguish, emotions that the other darknesses thrived on, and reminded him that if he'd only opened the portal to the other worlds, none of this would have happened. As we motioned to swing our Keyblade down over the helpless Skuld, Ephema screamed out in desperation and shot a beam of light through our heart, opening a portal behind us that sucked both our body and the 4 darknesses that orbited us into it, sealing it shut after we had vanished through the gateway. All he could do was desperately apologize to us as our body flies into the portal, having no choice but to trap his possessed dear friend in a horrible world, surrounded by enemies. But now he and Skuld are alone. An eerie silence fills the air, where moments ago had been the clashing of Keyblades and screams of regret. With nothing left he could do in this data world,
You
Ephema
see
dispels
me?
his Keyblade
Hi.
and scoops up Skuld in his arms. At the same moment, 2 pods are sent back through from the real world into the data world, meaning there are now enough for Ephema, Skuld, and the player. However, that pod will unfortunately go unused. Ephema places Skuld inside a pod and enters its neighbor himself, and the 2 forlorn wielders make their escape into the real world. The 2 pods materialize in the real world, and now they step into an identical copy of the room they just left, of course unaware of the events that just transpired here. From Ephema and Skuld's point of view, 5 pods have departed from this world, and they would have no reason to assume that anyone other than Maleficent,
I am
Lorien,
glad
Ven, Elraine,
that
and Brain
it's
were the
working now.
passengers. They couldn't possibly
That
know that one of those pods was taken by the
might
true
help
Dandelion,
me, actually.
and of course could not possibly know what happened between Darkness and Luxu, or Luxu and Brain for that matter.
What I mean, I said earlier that today is the last day of Kingdom Hearts because I'm watching this video, then we're watching this video, and then we're watching this video, and after that I'll be done with Kingdom Hearts. That's everything, and then tomorrow we can monkey.
But again, unfortunately, neither do we. All we know is that after Brain and Luxu's conversation, 2 pods were sent back for Ephema and Skuld. This will be an important detail to remember later. The pair slowly walk to the roof and bear witness to the maelstrom that is ravaging the real Daybreak Town. Tornadoes pull the water that once ran through Daybreak Town's aqueducts upwards. It's almost as if the pull of gravity itself is being reversed. The chaos of the Keyblade War caused tremendous trauma to the world at large, and now the departure of the lifeboats has heralded the destruction of this town and its data equivalent. If it hasn't happened already, the Realm of Light will soon be destroyed and split into thousands of independent chunks that we will come to know as the independent worlds from the future of the series. As Ephema and Skuld return to the basement and hop into the pods once more, the pods that will now propel them into the future, a teary-eyed Skuld can at least take solace that she isn't alone at the end of all things. Ephema tries to convince her to stay hopeful, but as he closes his eyes, all he can think of is our character and the brief time we had spent together. And now the poor wielder who just wanted to spend time with Ephema, who followed Ephema into the Daybreak Town Tower, who gave up the chance to escape into the real world just to stay with Ephema, is now trapped, all alone, in an impossibly horrible situation.
We're gonna
Tears
snooze
roll
the
down
ad
Ephema's
again.
eyes as the pod doors close, just as the entire Daybreak Town Tower seems to come crumbling down on top of them. Speaking of the player, they woke in the connection between the data Daybreak Town and the game's central station after being flung through the portal Ephema opened.
Okay, they're in the
other 4 darknesses
connection.
congratulated their ally for baiting Ephema into opening a portal into these data worlds, worlds that were now ripe for the infected. Our breathing was extremely labored. In a few short hours, we had battled our way through the Candy Kingdom, a terribly corrupted Darkling, one of the 13 darknesses, and now Skuld and Ephema, after which Ephema pierced our heart with a beam of light. The darknesses that orbited around us advised the darkness that
piercing
landed
your
within our
heart,
body to remove itself,
getting your heart
lest
pierced
it perish along
by
with
a beam
us.
of light.
But through our pain, we managed to smile. I didn't think tricking you guys would be so easy. Are all of you this gullible? We stood up and used our Keyblade to seal the opposite side of the corridor that Ephemera had sent us into, and the Darknesses realized what had happened. We were never possessed, no. We had realized that there was absolutely no other option, and fooled not only the gathered Darknesses, but also Ephemera and Skald into believing we were under that first Darkness's control. As said, Ephemera locked the way in,
Nice.
and we just locked the way out.
See?
These 4 Darknesses
Player
are now trapped in
character
this corridor
always so
between
smart.
worlds, and angrily dispersed
Always
themselves,
genius.
possibly searching for an escape. But our body could take no more punishment. We fell to the ground, and apologized to our Chirithy for getting it trapped along with us. We picked it up in our arms and held it close to our chest, as our body faded into a bright, white light. The entire Data world, as with the real Daybreak Town, was falling to darkness as the Master of Masters had orchestrated. And as Master Ava had predicted, when the Data Daybreak Town fell to darkness, it should enter a state of sleep. This concept was prominently featured previously in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. As the various worlds lost their hearts to the darkness prior to Kingdom Hearts 1, many of them entered a state of sleep, and the worlds themselves dreamt of more peaceful times. After the destruction of Ansem the Seeker of Darkness and the sealing of the Door to Darkness, many of these worlds were restored to the Realm of Light. However, if not for the intervention of Sora and Riku, some of them would have remained stuck in that state of sleep. Recall that Sora and Riku travelled backwards in time to enter the Sleeping Realm within the Realm of Darkness, and were able to unlock 7 sleeping keyholes, freeing some of these worlds from their slumber and allowing them to be awoken back in the real world. So to cut to the chase, this is what is about to happen to this world. It is doomed and is falling to darkness, and it, along with all of its residents, the Dandelions, will be falling to sleep. But instead of losing their hearts to the darkness as this happens, each of the Dandelions of Chirithy stepped in to protect them, shielding their bonded wielders' hearts within their bodies, and taking on the appearance of the spirit Dream Eaters we have seen throughout Dream Drop Distance. We have been told since Dream Drop Distance that spirits protect sleeping dreamers, and we are now seeing that in an extremely literal sense. Don't forget that the Chirithys are the creation of the Master of Masters, made to hold on to the wielders' gathered light, their memories, and now their hearts. Perhaps these were also part of the Master's backup plan to keep the wielders safe all along. As for our character, we ask our Chirithy if we will also fall asleep, and it responds that we have a choice. So many of our Dandelion friends are still waiting for their new beginning.
All of the Dandelions are the Dream
and
Eaters.
We could join them, or if we
specifically
refuse to
the
sleep,
spirits
our heart would end this life
from
to be
Dream Drop
reborn
Distance
and melt into a new heart. We get a brief flash of what this life would look like, and see ourselves in the arms of what I can only assume is our new mother, as she tearfully hands us off to a stranger in a blue cloak, in an unknown, unfamiliar city. That stranger takes us to a world we've never been to before, a series of peaceful islands that keeps us
Baby
entirely
Xehanort, by the
separated
way.
from the outside
Baby
world.
Xehanort.
It seems the stranger dedicates the rest of his life to keeping a watchful eye over us as we grow from an infant into an adolescent, until the day where they cannot watch anymore and they reach the end of their life.
Wait, hold on. Are they saying that the player character from Kingdom Hearts Union Cross is Xehanort? Is that the implication here? Because you can choose... Wait.
And we could join them, or if we refuse to sleep, our heart would end this life, to be reborn and melt into...
Yeah, if they didn't sleep, their hearts will be reborn.
A new heart. We get a brief flash
and
of
become
what
a
this
new
life
heart.
would look like, and see ourselves in the arms of what I can only assume is our new mother, as she tearfully hands us off to a stranger in a blue cloak, in an unknown, unfamiliar city.
And that's the reborn player character from Union Cross.
That stranger takes us to a world we've never been to before, a series of peaceful islands that keeps us entirely separated from the outside world.
Which becomes...
It seems the stranger dedicates the rest of his life to keeping a watchful eye over us.
I'm guessing this is Lushu. No, yeah, I'm guessing this is Lushu then.
We grow from an infant into an adolescent, until the day where they cannot watch anymore, and they reach the end of their life. Soon after that, we will find a way to escape this world, and find ourselves in an unfamiliar land, but it seems like we will make a wonderful friend while we
my god!
We peacefully close our eyes, knowing that our adventure is not over yet, and take our Chirithy in our arms. It wishes us a good night, as our body disappears, and our heart floats away. So, we chose to be reborn and saw some happy moments from our new life. But of course, any fan of the series will recognize that our character will be reborn hundreds of years in the future as Xehanort, and the moments of our life we saw did not include the more tragic moments of what will one day become our story.
Wait, what? Huh? The player character from Union Cross turns into Xehanort? I'm sorry. What? That is insane.
So as not to indulge in
Holy
speculation,
shit.
I will elaborate more on this in its own video. But one thing we do know for relatively certain is the moment the stranger dies is the moment that Xehanort's future self is able to approach him and make contact, allowing us to take the first step down our dark road. After the storm has passed...
Down our what? Down our what? Our dark road? Our dark road? Really? Oh, I forgot to fuck. No, I did not forget to fuck, but I forgot to snooze the ad again. God damn it! I was gonna snooze it for the third time, but I guess I'm taking in a smaller break now. But holy shit! So Dark Road is another mobile game, or it's the mobile game after Union Cross. We still have like 20 minutes of this video, by the way. Holy shit. Okay, I'm glad I'm watching this video because I did not realize that Xehanort is a reborn dandelion. Holy, is the only dandelion who did not become a Dream Eater. Okay. Cool. Now I just need to wait for the ad on Twitch to be over so people can continue watch. So over in like 3 seconds. 2, 1. Should be over now. Welcome back.
A pod washes up upon the obliterated ruins of Daybreak Town. The camera is initially zoomed in on a figure that emerges from the pod. A figure that is surely Ephemera.
Yeah, that has to be Ephemera.
To reveal a massive land in the background. Maleficent's heart safely arrives in the future, allowing her body to be reformed in Yensid's tower, as we previously saw in Kingdom Hearts 2. Maleficent's Raven took the Evil Queen's cloak to the mysterious tower shortly after Sora had departed on his second great world-hopping adventure. And at the side of the cloak, the three good fairies Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather unintentionally provided the memories necessary for Maleficent to reform herself in the present. We also see Lauriam, Elrena, and Ventus have arrived somewhere in the future as well. Lauriam appears to be in the Dwarf Woodlands among a field of flowers. Poor Elrena is on a cliffside among a lightning storm in the Enchanted Dominion, and Ventus lies unconscious among the Keyblade graveyard and is discovered by someone who just happens to be passing through the sacred land at that moment.
Oh.
We can assume that this is the much older Master Xehanort based off his ninth report from Birth by Sleep. So there I stood, with vast knowledge in one gnarled, dying hand, and newfound purpose in the other. The next step was clear. I needed a new vessel. And that was when I met Ventus and made him my pupil. We were destined to meet, and I could sense the potential within him. But the boy was too benign for his own good. I came to the conclusion he was too frail to serve as a vessel, and decided to use him for a second purpose I had in mind. I would remove the darkness from his heart and split him in two. Then I would have my heart of pure light, and my heart of pure darkness. I believe all three of these young people arrived at approximately the same time period, a few years before the events of Birth by Sleep. Recall that Lauriam used his goal of finding his sister or her backup data as his waypoint, which for some reason brought him to this time period. Elrena likely used the same goal, or Lauriam himself as her waypoint, but there's also the possibility that they used Maleficent as a waypoint. Remember, Lauriam did briefly meet Maleficent in the Day to Day breakdown.
True.
But poor Ven didn't even know he would be time traveling. But perhaps the darkness within him that had read the Book of Prophecies and knew that Ven was destined to arrive at this point in time took the wheel and let him arrive at this point in time. Hell, maybe Ven yearned to be with his friends and found a tiny trace of our character within Xehanort, leading him to be reformed at the exact same location where he had first met
that can make sense.
That Xehanort was passing through.
Yeah.
The medium to reform the bodies of these three was potentially the flowers Lorien found himself in, the lightning striking the Enchanted Dominion, and I suppose the wind that was blowing in the Keyblade graveyard, possibly contributing to the powers the three would one day be associated with. Unfortunately, no one existed in the current day that could or would provide these three with memories to reform themselves completely. It seems like they retained their own names, but precious little else. I'd argue that Lushu should still exist at this time, and potentially have memories of these three, but certainly not enough to fully restore those memories to their hosts. All three will now take their place in the series timeline as we know it. Ven will soon be trained by Master Xehanort, and show tremendous resilience to using any of his latent darkness. Perhaps the amnesiac boy doesn't even truly remember why, but feels with all his heart that he must not allow the darkness within him to be unleashed. Unfortunately for him though, it will. Xehanort will extract that darkness within him, his own natural darkness plus one of the 13 darknesses, to become the being Vanitas. Though that being will be reabsorbed back into his heart at the end of Birth by Sleep, lingering just below the surface once more. Lauriam and Arena might spend the next few years or so on Dwarf Woodlands and the Enchanted Dominion respectively. I can't imagine the two would have any methods of leaving those worlds, given that the pair clearly have no memories of being Keyblade wielders. After the events of Birth by Sleep, once Ansem the Wise has been banished, and his former apprentices form an organization dedicated to creating an artificial Kingdom Hearts, they will begin seeking out additional members to fill out their ranks. We do not know the circumstances of Demyx or Luxord's recruitment into the fold, but we do know that it will fall upon Xigbar to seek out additional members, and that he will personally recruit Lauriam, now Marluxia, as the 11th member, and possibly, if not likely, Arena as well. As we know, Lushu has remained loyal to the Master this entire time, and dutifully continued to steal
because Lushu became Braig, which then becomes Xigbar. He would know about the new the new Union leaders, Lauriam and Elrine, and then turn them into nobodies, or recruit them.
Of countless people until he arrived at his latest and last visage, Xigbar. Lushu did express care and concern for the Union leaders those hundreds of years ago. I wouldn't be surprised if he has been keeping tabs on them throughout the years, now fully having an excuse to keep them at a very close distance. After we see the shots of Ventus in the Keyblade graveyard, we see...
I'm guessing he would have tried to eventually recruit Ventus as well. But Ventus then fell asleep after Birth by Sleep. So that prevented Lushu from recruiting Ventus into the organization. I mean, we would never know. There's no way to know for sure, but I'm guessing Lushu would have wanted to gather all of the Union leaders, because he did it with, like, you know, Xehanort. This player character. He did
another
it with
shot from what appears to be
Lauriam
the
and
exact
Elrine.
same location, just back those hundreds of years in the past. A hooded figure dragging the black box and holding the Master of Masters Keyblade in their hands makes their way across the Keyblade graveyard. They pause, take a moment to turn, hold the Master's Keyblade aloft and recite to themselves, "May my heart be my guiding key."
May your heart
The figure opens his
be your
hood and
guiding
reveals
key.
his face.
Oh?
Brain's face.
It's Brain!
I refuse to allow myself to speculate here and add another 5 hours onto this video, so I'll just give you some quick thoughts, and I promise this is the quick version. Lushu may have taken Brain's body as his original vessel, but I'm not so sure about that.
That makes
sense. That would
sense.
essentially break continuity with the 12th secret report of Kingdom Hearts 3.
Wait,
To me,
really?
it makes more sense if he chose Brain as his first apprentice, and bestowed him with both the Master's Keyblade and the Black Box, before setting off on his centuries-long task to watch over the blade from a distance until it fell into the hands of a wielder intending to recreate the Keyblade War.
That could also work.
This seems to fit in line perfectly with the 12th secret report, where Lushu stated that he had handed the blade to a Union leader before departing, and at this stage, Brain is the only Union leader left in this time, except Ephema. It would also possibly explain why Lushu was unaware of the box's whereabouts at the time of Kingdom Hearts 3,
Yeah,
but is
okay.
able to find it after the conclusion of the Keyblade War.
Makes
because at
sense.
this time he simply doesn't have it. There is, however, one big problem with this, and it's the final scene of Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. Brain has awoken in a strange new city that he has never seen before, but we will recognize as the city that the baby Xehanort will be born in. He is immediately greeted by a man dressed in a purple and black cloak, hood, and hat that obscures his face, and introduces himself as Sigurd. The man knows that Brain was destined to arrive at this exact point, at this exact time, and hands Brain back his hat, which seems likely to me to be Brain's medium that reformed him at this point in time. Sigurd radios the news of Brain's arrival back into his headquarters, and beckons Brain to follow him there. Brain has some questions first, asking if any of his friends that escaped Daybreak Town's destruction have also arrived at this time, but unfortunately, Brain is the only one that did. As they walk through town, Brain spots a familiar figure atop the fountain in the middle of this town square. Sigurd explains that this was the original Keyblade Master of this world, Scala Adkylum.
Ephemer!
But Brain of course knows who it is. After all, Ephemer was one of his best friends. Whew. Okay. Again, I'm ignoring the temptation to speculate for as long as I want to here, believe me. But here are the things I am fairly certain have happened. Let's rewind a bit.
Okay.
Skald's pod time-traveled into the future. She likely arrives in Radiant Garden a little while after the events of Birth by Sleep, is found by the apprentice Xehanort, and imprisoned in the Radiant Garden Castle's dungeon, and given the moniker Subject X.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Because Lee and Isa, they constantly talk about a girl, right, that they wanted to save, and it's highly likely that Skald arriving into the future.
Subject X barely remembers her past, with scant recollections of 4 friends, a key, and the phrase, "May your heart be your guiding key." Her captivity is noticed by Isa and Lee, shortly before she is rescued by someone with an eye patch, who is likely, though not confirmed, Lushu. And during the events of Kingdom Hearts 3, her whereabouts are shown to be of concern to Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness. In my mind, because of her connection to his research. Ephemer's pod did not travel through time. He emerged shortly after the destruction of Daybreak Town, and armed with the Book of Prophecies and the Master Defender Keyblade, began creating a city named Scala Adkylum, likely just as the book, in a manner of speaking, instructed him to do. It said he would, so he did it. Of course, this Scala Adkylum looks extremely different to the one we are familiar with from both Dark Road and Kingdom Hearts 3. Recall that Ephemer had promised to return both the Book of Prophecies and the Master Defender Keyblade to Brain the next time the pair saw each other, and once this Brain materializes in the new city of Scala Adkylum, potentially several generations after the city's inception, I believe these items will be returned to him. I have a feeling that at this time Ephemer will have long since passed, but he will have left instructions for the guardians of this bizarre city in the event of Brain's arrival. This is certainly not confirmed, but Kingdom Hearts Dark Road implies that Brain will start a family, and that the young Ericus will be his grandson. But we know that something will happen to that grandfather. He may have disappeared from the world, or perhaps even perished. But given that he would be an older man by the time of his grandson's birth, which should be around the time of Xehanort's birth, I can't help but wonder if this Brain is the old man that agrees to take Xehanort from his willing but regretful mother and hide him on the Destiny Islands. I'm certainly not positive about that though. In my mind, Brain will definitely be trying to dedicate his life to freeing the trapped dandelions from the Day to Daybreak Town, something that could take him a lifetime to achieve, and possibly cost him up to his life if successful. Let's not forget, there are 4 darknesses trapped in the Data Daybreak Town as well. Opening the data cage that contains the dandelions, said to be symbols of the world's hope, but accidentally freeing the darknesses within it, sounds a whole lot to me like opening Pandora's box. Of course, if everything I've said so far is correct though, the huge mystery in my mind becomes, how can Brain seemingly be in 2 places and times at once? The last line uttered by Lushu to Brain before the circumstances get fuzzy is, "It's a shame this lifetime is the only one you've got." My brain immediately wonders, what if the statement was somewhat rhetorical, and perhaps there was a way Brain could lead 2 lives at once? Again, this will get its own video, but to give you the extremely quick version, my earliest possible thought is that, okay, perhaps Lushu retrieved the data...
Yeah, there's a data version of Brain. Because these guys are real, and there's data backups of them in the Daybreak Town. So there could be 2 Brains. One travels to the future, and the other one becomes Lushu's vessel.
The backup of Brain from the Day to Daybreak Town, and sent one into the future while making the other his apprentice.
Oh, just making the other one the apprentice.
Let's put aside the speculation for now and try to end this video by bringing it back to the beginning. The Master of Masters' plan to trap or defeat the 13 Darknesses that
Yes.
he claims have attacked
Yes, let's get a recap because it's been an hour
the people of light.
of things.
5 were to perish in the Keyblade War in the bodies of the 5 foretellers.
Which they did.
The Master of Masters and Lushu were also to each house one, and as soon as the Master's plan was set up, he would time travel into the future as Lushu made his way there manually, living each and every moment patiently as he awaited the return of the Master. 5 should have been trapped within the 5 Union Leaders' hearts and jettisoned into the future through time travel arcs, meaning that 7 would arrive in the future, where a new generation of Keyblade wielders, capable of prevailing in a renewed Keyblade war, would be there to defeat them. This seems to be the implication of the Kingdom Hearts 3 epilogue scene. The new game that Ericus describes sees 7 black pieces facing off against what one would assume to be the Heroes of Light, with the first piece entering the board being the crown that represented Sora in the previous game. And one final darkness would be trapped inside the Data World. Maybe the Master of Masters intended to keep it trapped there eternally in this place, rather than utterly expunging a fundamental force of the universe. Or perhaps he intended for it to be destroyed last, after the remaining 12 had been taken care of, and the combined forces of light from both past and future.
But in order to actually destroy the darknesses, they have to be inside someone's heart, and then that person needs to die. Because then the darkness perishes alongside the person because it's locked in the darkness. They're locked in their hearts. Which means the Master of Master needs to have someone kill him. And Lushu also needs to die. I'm guessing this is what's gonna happen in Kingdom Hearts 4. Where we do take on the darknesses.
Could complete the feat together. However, as stated, things deviated wildly from this plan. I think we can only say with any level of assuredness that 4 of the foretellers perished. It's possible Ava did as well, but given the implications from the epilogue, I'm not so sure. The 5 darknesses that were supposed to possess the Union Leaders certainly diverged from the path.
Yeah.
The one perhaps intended to possess Strelitzia ended up entering Ventus's heart instead and murdering the poor girl. Based on the events of Kingdom Hearts 3's
And we know
Green
Ventus
Light
is
DLC,
alive.
It seems that though it was able to roam free for a time as Vanitas, now that Vanitas has rejoined with Ven, this particular darkness still lingers deep within Ven's heart. The other 4 darknesses, possibly intended for the remaining Union Leaders, have all found themselves trapped within an external corridor of Day-to-Day Breakdown, rather than the world itself. And I think the implication is that the Master of Masters and Lushu successfully trapped the darkness within their hearts as well. The Master does seem set to arrive in the future as planned, but what about the one inside Lushu? Before we forget, he's already perished, right? Maybe even twice now. It's likely he faked his death in Kingdom Hearts 3, but his Nobody and his Heartless must have been defeated in Kingdom Hearts 2, which allowed him to be recompleted. I suppose it probably doesn't count as properly dying, though. So let's just say that Lushu also has a darkness within his heart, and is also poised to be struck down in the present. So that's 4 or 5 struck down already, 1 each in the Master and Lushu, 1 in Ventus that hopefully we can find a way not to destroy, and 4 trapped in the Data World. That makes 12 that we have a pretty good...
I mean, there is a way to destroy it without destroying Ventus. We just need to get it out of Ventus and into someone else. You know? And his charity is there. His charity might literally be like, I'll take the darkness, turn into the... Oh my god. What if... Because remember about the nightmare charity? Where is it? It's somewhere here. There's a nightmare charity. Somewhere. There. Right there. There's a nightmare charity, right? What if the darkness inside Ventus does go into his charity, and that charity travels back in time and becomes the dark charity that eggs on who will later become Xehanort? Maybe. I don't know.
Good idea about the location of. Now, for the 13th and final darkness. The one that was last seen with Lushu in the real world, where it seems they were about to have some sort of confrontation. Again, so as not to speculate, I'll cut to the chase. We know the darkness could not have been destroyed without a form,
Mhm.
so unless Lushu quickly forced it into some sort of vessel and then destroyed it, I would assume it's still out there. I see there being two interesting ideas here. Either Lushu took it upon himself to try and bear the burden of a second darkness in his heart, which possibly had an effect on his personality from that point onwards, or he
Makes
drove it out
sense.
into the world, allowing it to spread and corrupt people throughout the realm of light, and giving one explanation as to why darkness exists in people's hearts in future titles, before the advent of Ansem and his apprentices' experiments. So things are clearly deviated from the Master's stated plan, but of course, this is the Master of Masters we're talking about. This could well have been the plan all along. He knows his adversary
course.
Darkness is shrewd and
Of
cunning,
course
and
it
will
could have
take
been
an
the plan all
extremely
along.
complicated plan with a healthy amount of unpredictability to actually triumph over them. After all, the original ending of the Book of Prophecies described an event in which darkness prevailed, which is why, in my mind at least, the Master allowed darkness to have a peek at the book, and why darkness is attempting to follow along with that future the book described as closely as possible. If they follow what is essentially a series of instructions, they should end up completely extinguishing the light, or so they believe. Which, in a way, did happen. The original ending to the conflict between light and darkness in Kingdom Hearts 3 was that darkness prevailed,
Yes.
just as the book said it would.
But then
It was only through a breaking of the taboos of nature that allowed Sora to rewind time and also
it's only through a breaking of nature taboo. Sora only broke the laws of reality to to do things. Yeah, just break the laws of reality. It's
the
fine.
events that were apparently destined to happen, allowing the lights to ultimately triumph over the darkness. Master Xehanort infused 13 vessels with his own darkness, and each were defeated, allowing the creation of the Keyblade. I had wondered if Xehanort's entire purpose for being was to be the Master's final backup plan. If the 13 darknesses were not destroyed as planned, perhaps they would all find their way into this one ultimate heart, our reincarnated hero from the age of fairy tales that was able to channel an ever-increasing amount of darkness without ever seeming to be fazed by it. A wielder who would ultimately triumph over every seemingly impossible situation they found themselves in. Would such a heart be capable of handling all
Xehanort was the main character all along.
13 darknesses within it? With some gentle prodding, would they attempt to recreate the Keyblade War? And if that sacrificial lamb, containing all 13 darknesses, was destroyed, would the darkness be defeated once and for all? I am less confident in that idea now, but it could be one explanation from why Xehanort was taken from his place of birth, perhaps to avoid
Also, why does Xehanort's mom look a lot like Skuld?
the fate that was written for him. Perhaps it was why the Master chose to personally visit him and send him down his dark path. One final sacrifice in the name of defeating the darkness. The darkness cannot comprehend what the Master is planning, just as the Master cannot truly comprehend what the darkness is after. The two have discussed as much, and on one such occasion, the Master revealed to the darkness that he was sending not just himself and the Union leaders into the future, but also 7 crowns that one would assume will help the forces of light. He also revealed to the darkness
7
something of
crowns.
great importance to him that he had noticed while peering through time. A world he can't even imagine. Using the other Kingdom Hearts games as context, he is surely referring to the fictional worlds that have been brought up recently in the secret ending of Kingdom Hearts 3, in Remind, and in Melody of Memory.
Yeah, the
For some
Datascape.
reason, the Master of Masters shows a great interest in this world of neither light nor darkness. Perhaps, as it is a location that is yet to become tainted by the darkness, the Master wants to ensure that it remains that way, or possibly wants to claim it for himself. It has been hinted that the Foretellers, or some other ancient Keyblade Masters, might have disappeared into this fictional world, and recalled that Ansem the Seeker of Darkness also showed an interest in this place. And now, Sora, Riku, Yozora, and apparently the Master of Masters himself have all entered within a year after the events of Kingdom Hearts 3. In the vein of wrapping up, I should also mention, of course, that Lauriam and Larxene may well have regained their memories from the ancient past after being defeated in Kingdom Hearts 3, and will likely have spent the last year searching for any clues of Strelitzia's whereabouts and how
Probably.
to revive her. Hopefully the next installment in the franchise will give us an update on that situation as well. Speaking of that next installment, Dark Road will apparently receive its finale in late September 2021. Hopefully, we will learn more about this mysterious second Scala and the organization that Brain has become involved with at this time. And if we're lucky, we might get some more clarification about the fate of that 13th Darkness and the whole situation with the second Brain as well. And of course, the most important question that's still to be asked.
Ephemer.
About the person who knows the story of those ancient Keyblade masters, that forgotten Keyblade War, and the children that rebuilt the Lost World, and ensures that story is passed on to future generations. Is Kairi's grandmother Ava or Vor? And with that, I think I'll leave you here for now, friends. I've definitely rushed through some details, particularly the ones I've already covered more thoroughly in my earlier explanation videos, but I believe this is everything you need to know about the story of Kingdom Hearts Key, Unchained Key, back cover, and Union Cross, as well as what you need to know before you enjoy the next games in the series.
Okay.
Rest assured though, I will absolutely be making videos elaborating further on the ending, so please ask any questions you still have, and I will do my best to create further videos to answer them. Just as a start, I really want to dive further into my reasonings behind the 2 brains and the 2 scholars.
Okay,
I
sure.
really want to thank you for watching. This has been such an interesting series to create, releasing my first main video shortly before the release of Kingdom Hearts 3, when I feel no one really understood or cared about the story of the stupid mobile game, to now seeing the entire fanbase hungrily lapping up each update as we made our way towards the finale. It's a very special piece of a very special series, and I want to sincerely thank you for allowing me to be a tiny part of your experience in that. And with that, I'll leave you with one final message until I see you again. May your heart be your guiding key.
That's what I say at the end of every stream. Alright. Kingdom Hearts is surprisingly a very well-connected game. I mean, it's not really that surprising. It's fucking Nomura, but you know. Did he have to make it so goddamn complicated though? Alright, so the player character in Union Cross becomes Xehanort. God, the Master of Masters, dude. Like, the man has backup plans for the backup plans of the backup plans of his backup plans. And people thought Xehanort was five brain. No, was playing 4D chess. The Master of Master is playing freaking 10D chess, I swear. Okay, so now we have the full story of Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. But there's I'm gonna run an ad right now. I'm gonna run it early so we don't have to take a break here. I'm gonna run the ad right now as a tiny break before we go into Dark Road so we don't have to stop it. So if you don't see ads, congratulations, you don't see ads. If you do see ads though, sucks to be you. But that was interesting. I'm really glad I watched that video. And he brings up a good point about Laurium and Elrene. Since they are now defeated as nobodies, they should become real people, right? And we know that Strelitzia is important in Kingdom Hearts 4 because she meets... I mean, you meet her in the final world, and Sora also meets her in the Kingdom Hearts 4 teaser. I mean, she shows up there. And so they are those two are probably going to be important characters in Kingdom Hearts 4, which is going to be nice because I like those. I like Larxene. She's hot. She's pretty. All right. We are 10 seconds away from the... What do you mean the ad break ended? There's still 3 seconds left. What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, can I boost my my bitrate back up to 6,000 now because I changed my audio settings? I'm gonna do that. All right, time for the full story of Kingdom Hearts Dark Road.
Kingdom Hearts Dark Road tells the story of how Xehanort, the central antagonist to the entire Kingdom Hearts series so far, started down the path that led him from being an innocent, curious boy living on his quiet, isolated home of Destiny Islands to the gnarled old master, willing to sacrifice anything and anyone to achieve his goal. It is a story told in episodic updates, and as of the December 2020 recording of this video, is on episode 3 of a currently unknown total amount of episodes.
Wait.
I'll put this video in a playlist and add to it.
Wait, hold on. There has to be a newer version of this. This is 1, 2, 3. Is there a 1, 2, 3, 4? No. Dark Road in 30 seconds. I mean, it's this one, an oversimplified story. But this was 2 years ago. I'm gonna watch this one because it takes all of them.
I have a love-hate relationship with Kingdom Hearts Dark Road.
Okay.
I really wanted this game, like really bad. Understanding where Xehanort came from, how his methodology was formed, expanding his relationship with Eraqus, and his eventual downfall to darkness was something I really wanted to explore more throughout the franchise. However, I was hoping that whenever we got to this point in the series that we would get this information and it would be an experience similar to something like Chain of Memories. Ha! Or Dream Drop Distance. Have a story where we play as Xehanort for a section or just do his story bits, and then play the remaining bits of the game through Eraqus's perspective. To be fair, I wasn't expecting a complete graphical overhaul like some people were when this game was first announced. However, I would be lying to you if I told you that I wasn't slightly disappointed that this wasn't put onto a console experience.
Okay, we don't need to...
with what I've understood of the development of Dark Road, this was very much a spare-of-the-moment project.
We don't need to hear about this. Just tell us a story. We don't need to hear about your feelings about
a full-blown console experience.
Where it is and where it isn't.
Cross video, I'm going to be going over my thoughts on each individual episode of Dark Road, seeing if I can possibly predict the ending, as I'm writing this several months in advance.
Oh my
and of
God,
course,
why?
spoilers for Dark Road and probably just all of Kingdom Hearts. I won't be going over the gameplay like I did in my Union Cross video because I'm not going to be pretending that it's any more engaging than Unions. To me, it is 100% a game where you can just leave the game on, put it in auto mode, and come back later with plenty of BP. I also really haven't played since the update introducing items.
We don't need to know about this shit.
However, I won't be expected to honestly fairly standard. Our exciting incident is that a group of upperclassmen have gone missing while training for their Mark of Mastery exam, so Xehanort and his class are tasked with trying to find them, minus one, a missing classmate named Baldur who has a sister in the missing class.
Oh,
Master Odin, Xehanort's teacher, gave him a special assignment to prevent him from learning of his sister's unknown fate. As for the remaining classmates that we have met, and I apologize in advance, I'm more than likely going to be mispronouncing a majority of these characters' names incorrectly. Hermod and Njord seem to be the class president types that you see in most animes. Tenya and Momo from My Hero Academia as an example. Though I'm only writing this as they're about to depart scholarship.
Oh yeah,
there's
because
still plenty of time for
they're all based on Nordic names. The teacher is Odin.
Impressions. Vor seems to be a sweet, gentle soul, and Bragg, seems to be smug and the cool type guy. Eraqus is the most interesting to me at the moment, as he is a completely different person from who we see in Birth by Sleep. He's currently carefree, a jokester, and it's really strange viewing him as a child to the stoic warrior we see later on in life. It's honestly jarring, and it's clear that whatever is about to happen is going to rock him to his core, and I'm kind of excited to see what goes on from here. Nomura does some pretty interesting things with the world building in this game. The canon reason for why in earlier Kingdom Hearts games we don't have any NPCs walking around and doing just random things is the way that the worlds are reconstructing themselves after the war. The worlds are recreating first the land, places, etc., and then bringing back people.
Makes
thus
sense.
explaining why Kingdom Hearts 3 has actual NPCs and people walking around, because
Makes
those
sense.
worlds are supposedly further along in their reconstruction. This episode ends with a time skip after the class takes a second trip to go try and find more information about the missing class. It's been 4 years and Xehanort is placing flowers on 4 different graves, implying that Vor, Bragg, Erd, and Hermund are all supposedly dead. Interestingly enough, despite the fact we have not met him in person yet, Boulder does not seem to have a grave. Xehanort tells Eraqus that he is about to go travel the worlds before his Mark of Mastery exam. Notably, as well, Eraqus does not have his scar yet that Xehanort gave to him, meaning that there's going to be another interaction between them before all of this is said and done. Let me just say that with what little time we have with these two as teens, Episode 1 is only about 20 to 25 minutes, but they build such a good relationship between these two that it honestly made me cry the first time watching this scene.
Alright, episode 2.
Moving on to the Presence of Darkness, this episode starts with Xehanort and Eraqus finding out that their friends have been captured by the Queen of Hearts of Wonderland. For the most part, this goes through the standard motions for the Wonderland. However, it is what happens after they are attacked by the cards and the
You know what? I
Heartless that
kind of
brings
do
an
want to
interest.
watch this dude's story instead, because he did a
Kingdom
really
Hearts
good
Dark
job.
Road tells the story of how Xehanort, the central antagonist to the entire Kingdom Hearts series so far,
The
started
problem
down
is
the
this is
path
only
that
one
led him
to
from being
one
an
to
innocent,
through 3,
curious boy
not
living on his
4, the
quiet,
final episode.
isolated home of Destiny Islands.
So we need to
the
find
gnarled
that
old master,
as well.
willing to sacrifice anything and anyone to achieve his goal. It is a story told in episodic updates, and as of the December 2020 recording of this video, is on episode 3 of a currently unknown total amount of episodes. I'll put this video in a playlist and add to it whenever episodes 4, 5, 6 and beyond are released, so please subscribe to stay notified. Without taking any more of your time, let's begin. This is the complete story of Kingdom Hearts Dark Road chronologically explained. So far, episodes 1 to 3. In the aftermath of the clash
Assuming there
between
were
Master
more
Eraqus'
episodes.
pupils
There
and
might
the
not have
aging
been.
Master Xehanort, all that remained was an amnesiac man who awoke in Radiant Garden, remembering nothing but that his name was Xehanort. He would be brought in to join Ansem the Wise as one of his apprentices.
But that is Terra,
And though we will get into
not
this time period
Xehanort.
properly in a separate video, his time as an apprentice comes to an end when he performs his final experiment, removing the hearts from the bodies of both himself and his fellow apprentices, splitting them into Heartless and Nobodies. The Nobodies would go on to form the founding members of Organization 13, and the Heart would take on the name of Xehanort's former master, Ansem. As a heart unburdened by a body, the heart of Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, is now able to travel backwards through time to a point in which a version of himself already exists, and returns to a time at which he was a young lad, exactly where he needed to be to complete the time loop and set all of the following events into motion. As a child, Xehanort would often dream of people he had never met before, children that were involved in some grand adventure, visiting worlds and encountering creatures that seemed completely foreign to anything he had ever seen on his tiny island. He yearned to travel outside his island prison, so that he might one day meet these friends that he
This
saw in his
world
dreams.
is just too
and
small.
one day, as he awoke from yet another dream, he looked out at the ocean that kept his tiny world separated from the many other worlds that might be out there, and was approached by a being shrouded in a brown robe.
Himself,
Xehanort didn't realize
from
it at
the
the
future.
time, but he was being approached by a version of himself from the far future, and the heart of his future self offered Xehanort the opportunity to see the worlds that he dreamt of, noting that there was nothing for him on the Destiny Islands, but to await a quiet and uneventful death. The cloaked figure opened a dark corridor, and with barely a moment's hesitation, the young Xehanort takes that first step through, leaving his home behind, and finding himself on a literal dark path. Dark clouds whispered to Xehanort as he walked, conveying emotions of hatred, jealousy and doubt towards him, feelings that he had never felt before, but were somehow directed at him from people that he had yet to meet. But the fear and trepidation he was feeling almost comforted him. It reminded him that his heart still knew how to feel, but he didn't realize that he was walking down a path that led to something scarier than darkness itself. Emptiness.
Oh,
Xehanort made his way through the dark corridor, losing
Scarier than
consciousness
darkness.
as he arrived in
Nothing.
this new land, the world of Scala ad Kylum. Xehanort was found by the water, and when he regained consciousness, he was taken in and given the opportunity to attend classes with other children his age, children that were studying to become Keyblade wielders. Among his classmates were Hermod, Bragai, Erd, Vor, Baldur, and his closest friend, Ericus. Ericus was...
You could, like, see Baldur all the way in the corner here.
Vor, Baldur, and his closest friend, Ericus. Ericus was fascinated.
You forgot their
by Xehanort
teacher,
and
Odin.
frequently tried to get him to open up about his experience in the world that he had come from, though Xehanort rarely offered the curious Ericus any information. Ericus knew that he had to have come from another world, given that the islands that surrounded their home were allegedly all deserted, a fact that has currently not been elaborated on. The two boys often entertained themselves by playing chess, forming something of a friendly rivalry, similar to a rivalry shared by two other boys from Destiny Islands. They would study under their master Odin, a tall, bearded man donned in a large cloak and a wide-brimmed hat that obscured a majority of his face. Practically the only feature that can be seen of him was a single piercing eye. Here, the students would learn about the nature of it.
Wait, what did that say?
Seen of him was a single piercing eye.
Odin is suspicious. Counter 1.
Here, the students would learn about the nature of
Odin
things
is sus.
as they trained to become masters.
Odin
such
is
as the
always
light-filled
sus.
worlds that comprised their known universe, and the darkness that threatened them. They would also learn about their history as a people, hearing the Master's favourite story about the ancient Keyblade War, in which Keyblade-bearing warriors came together to clash for the light within Kingdom Hearts, splitting asunder the realm of light in the process. Though I do wonder how reliable of a narrator Master Odin actually is, given that it seems his retelling of the events may not have included any mention of the foretellers.
Of course. Odin is suspicious.
These 7
Counter
students
2.
comprised the lower class, but there were also 7 students in the upper class, including Baldur's sister. Around a week before the time of Dark Road's proper beginning, these 7 upper students were due to undertake their Mark of Mastery exam, but rather than sit a conventional test, they were tasked with exploring the worlds outside of Scala ad Caelum.
Okay.
Baldur confided in Ericus that he was concerned about the safety of his sister, fearing that something
Is Baldur
about
a
Master
boy or a
Odin's exam
girl?
was amiss.
I can't tell.
Hmm.
Odin is
The way his
suspicious.
sister
Counter
described
3.
it, only those that made it back would be named masters, making it sound like not all of the students would be returning safely home. Baldur had a terrible feeling that his sister would be lost to darkness, and at the mere mention of the word darkness, Ericus perked up. Baldur apologized for bringing up a painful subject, and began to recall that Ericus's grandfather had previously battled the darkness, which is how he... But Ericus cuts Baldur off before he can finish his thought, saying that he doesn't exactly know what happened to his grandfather, but that just the thought that darkness could be lurking nearby makes him anxious, and that hating darkness may be in his blood. This is interesting because, well, of course, Ericus has been described as a blue blood, descended from a long lineage of Keyblade wielders, and it is a current fan theory that perhaps Brain is his ancient ancestor. But Dark Road is asserting that Ericus's grandfather battled the darkness, with his fate currently unrevealed. Perhaps he either perished or disappeared as a result. This makes the timeline a little strange. Are they saying that Brain is his direct grandfather, and that only 2 generations have come since the founding of Scala ad Caelum? I'll confess to having a headcanon here, but I always imagined that Brain and the Dandelions would return to the original Daybreak Town that suffered after the Keyblade War, and build Scala ad Caelum practically on top of it. Brain certainly fits the description of someone who battled the darkness after everything he witnessed in Union Cross so far, and what will shortly follow in the next few updates.
It makes sense for them to build
are they saying
it
that Scala came under the threat of darkness 2 generations ago, and it was up to people
on
like
top
Ericus's
of the
grandfather
Daybreak
to
Town.
defend
It does
their
look
world?
like it a lot.
That actually might be the reason why the surrounding islands of Scala are deserted. It does seem extremely bizarre to me that 90% of this world is deserted, but I'm sure we'll hear more about this plot point in the future. But, speaking of darkness lurking nearby, and all the Keyblade wielders, it's worth mentioning now that Lushu is likely nearby, surely having discarded his original body long ago by this point, and fulfilling his role in keeping an eye on the Master
he
of
has to be
Masters Keyblade
close
from a
by because he's
distance,
watching
which
over
we
the
can see
Keyblade.
currently hangs in the student's classroom. The same Keyblade, which of course, the Master of Master can use to see through at any time, watching over any and all prospective Keyblade wielders that he might see potential in. And if he saw one that became fascinated with darkness, for example, perhaps he might be so inclined to help guide that student down a dark path.
The Dark Road.
Sorry, we took a little detour there. I try to keep these videos
Odin is
speculation
sus.
free, my apologies. With the speculating done, let's head back to the proper beginning of Dark Road. A week later, Master Odin summoned the students to their classroom to inform them of the news that the upperclassmen had indeed gone missing, during their Mark of Mastery exam, and that Xehanort, Ericus, Omod, Bragai, Vor, and Erd were to split up into 2 teams and go searching for them. Baldur was not to know about this, with Odin's reasoning being that learning about his sister going missing would only cause Baldur to worry. Vor seems a little nervous. Ericus and Bragai can hardly contain their excitement, whereas Omod and Erd ask for some decorum, reminding the others of the reason for the excursion. Odin teaches them the method to leave their world, and sends them on their way. The students ask Xehanort for any advice about the outside worlds, given that he is the only one to have ever been outside Scala. Xehanort reminds them of all the things they have learnt in class, that all the worlds that were scattered after the Realm of Light split apart in the Keyblade War are at different stages of growth and recovery after the Calamity. For some, time has resumed complete normalcy, but for others, time literally flows differently relative to other worlds. Some worlds are still in their infancy, and have yet to develop their own order, and with that in mind, it is possible that someone, or something, could potentially affect the growth and destiny of a developing world before it has even properly begun. Splitting into 2 teams of 3, the wielders don their Keyblade armor, allowing them to travel safely between the worlds without feeling the corruptive influence.
Oh, they all have armor.
Xehanort and Ericus sport the armor previously seen by their later incarnations in
Yeah,
Kingdom Hearts 2 and Birth by Sleep Final Mix, bizarrely including the Nobody Sigil even now, whereas the other 4 students' armor bears a resemblance to the Union armor.
Oh yeah, he has the Nobody Sigil on his chest. Interesting. And then the others look like this. Why do they look like the frickin' Power Rangers? Red, blue, pink, green. I mean, yellow, black. Am I the only one who notices this? That they look like the Power Rangers? Red, blue, pink, green, yellow-ish. I guess you can stretch it being yellow. But it looks more like gray. I don't know. There's 2 blue.
From Union Cross, with Vor, Bragai, Erd, and Omod resembling Volpes, Unicornus, Anguis, and I suppose Ursus, respectively.
Oh,
I wonder if
makes
Baldur
sense.
will be donned in a yellow attire matching Leopardus,
Yeah, that
should
makes
his
sense.
armor ever be revealed.
Although
With their
sort
armor
of,
equipped to
Ericus
shield
does
from
look
the
like that,
darkness,
yeah.
The students leap into the air
Footage not
and
found.
morph their Keyblades into vehicles, setting off to search the outside worlds. They discover that Agrabah is
God,
still in the process of
when does
reforming.
Sora and
as
Riku
such,
get their
there are
armor?
currently no living beings in the world, save for Heartless. Emblem Heartless, in fact. The wielders remark on how bizarre that is, as during their lessons, they had learned that the original Keyblade wielders of Daybreak Town battled against Emblem Heartless, but these were just projections from the Book of Prophecies, using the appearance of Heartless that wouldn't actually exist until the future, ironically created
So
by
they know about
Xehanort
the
himself.
Book of Prophecies.
They rationalize that if the upperclassmen were to encounter Heartless unexpectedly as well, some may choose to run, and some may choose to stand and fight. But with no real trace of the missing wielders, they return to Scala, deciding not to tell Master Odin of their findings, and continue on to the next world, Wonderland. Here, Xehanort notices that the denizens of the world live in fear of the Queen of Hearts. They soon realize that she may have darkness in her heart, and bizarrely, both Xehanort and Ericus seem to experience a flashback simultaneously of memories from the time of Union Cross, where Brain mentioned to Ephema, Skald, and Ven, who was unknowingly harboring a being of darkness within himself, that darkness can hide anywhere, even inside someone. We'll get into this flashback later, but as a person that clearly has darkness in her heart, darkness that visibly manifests around her as she speaks, she wields that power she gains from the darkness to rule with an iron fist. But the students are hesitant to intervene. After all, if that is how this world works, who are they to say otherwise?
Oh gosh, that's a
Still,
Heartless.
Xehanort and Ericus say they believe in the light in people's hearts, while recognizing that eventually they may be forced to confront the darkness within those hearts.
Ericus's Keyblade is different.
Xehanort wonders, is it possible that the darkness could bury so deep within someone that they themselves would have no idea of its presence? And if so, would it be right to turn a Keyblade on that person? A dark shell of their former self. Xehanort, Ericus, and their
Food for
companion
thought.
return to the Queen of
Food for
Hearts to
thought.
question her directly. Does she intentionally rule with fear? Or is it the darkness deep within her that forces her to do these things? But this only enrages the Queen, and that darkness within her becomes visible to the wielders again. In the brief moment that it shows itself, Xehanort thinks that he sees it smiling. Perhaps similar to the arrogant way in which darkness showed itself to Brain in the latest update of Union Cross. And a manifestation of the Queen's wrath appears before the young wielders. It's interesting that it is the Queen's wrath represented here, given that wrath is of course one of the 7 deadly sins.
Yep.
The same one that Ira is named for, in fact.
Yep.
Perhaps over the course of the next Disney Worlds, the students will confront the remaining 6 deadly sins. Anyway, after defeating it, they return back to Scarlet.
Oh yeah,
Alcala
the
and discuss
remaining
the next
6.
phase
I
of
was
their
about to
plan
be
as a
like,
group.
there's 7 deadly
Surely
sins.
some form of darkness is responsible for the missing
But it makes
upperclassmen.
sense.
But Xehanort wonders if they aren't in some way responsible for its presence as well. After all, one bright light can cast many shadows. And in fact, without light itself, there would be no concept of darkness. Erd isn't as on board with the idea, saying that because darkness exists is the reason they became Keyblade wielders in the first place. There's a big difference between light leading to darkness and darkness leading to light in her eyes. Odin had taught them that when the negativity within someone's heart grows to the point where it can no longer be contained, that is when darkness is born in their hearts. The group still isn't sure if the Queen's darkness was her own, or if it was an outside force that she welcomed into her heart, but Xehanort questions whether it even matters. Wonderland kept order because a queen with darkness in her heart ruled with fear. The Keyblade wielder's perspective of light being good and darkness being bad simply wasn't relevant. But Ericus takes complete umbrage with that statement, insisting to Xehanort that darkness is bad and always has been.
Yeah, Xehanort has a point.
Especially
is darkness bad if it actually serves the purpose?
Xehanort hasn't forgotten. But what he is worried about is that if the upperclassmen found themselves in a world in which the order it followed was that of darkness, then it's possible that they may have been defeated. Ericus refuses to entertain the thought, but Hermod calms everyone down and says that they'll all continue to complete their role in searching for the upperclassmen. And seeing as that may well be connected to the darkness, they'll investigate that as well, remaining cautiously optimistic as
I
they
love
take
how
on
Urd
to the next world.
is just standing there being like, just standing there looking cute, listening
4
to
years
everybody
later.
talk.
Rain falls heavily upon Xehanort's head as he lays down flowers on 4 graves. His final task, before leaving Scala ad Caelum one last time to see the worlds, before it is his turn to undertake the Mark of Mastery exam. Though the obvious implication is that Vor, Hermod, Erd, and Bragai have perished, we cannot say with certainty who these graves belong to just yet, because right now, there are at least 13 possible candidates. The 5 fellow students in Xehanort's class, of course, the 7 upperclassmen, and Master Odin himself. Ericus arrives and tells Xehanort that what happened wasn't his fault, and tries to coax him into staying, saying that Xehanort has already seen what's out there. To which Xehanort retorts that he hasn't seen everything.
I haven't seen
Ericus
everything.
tries to prod further, asking Xehanort just what it is that he's actually looking for, but is completely ignored by his sullen friend. But by reminding Xehanort of their ongoing friendly rivalry of chess, Ericus manages to get Xehanort to pause and turn to face him. With some hope and light still in his eyes, Xehanort asks Ericus if he really means that. And to me, I read this as Xehanort asking Ericus if he truly believes that what happened to these 4 people isn't his fault. Does Ericus truly not blame him for what happened? Can he still call himself Ericus's friend? Is there still hope for him? With that life back in his eyes, Ericus gives Xehanort his blessing to leave, and the 2 friends seem to part on good terms, as Xehanort departs to once more explore the worlds outside and get his answers. So clearly, something tragic happens to at least 4 people between where we are now and the time skip, the time at which Xehanort prepares to undertake his own Mark of Mastery exam. Something tragic that Xehanort personally carries a lot of guilt over. Was he unable to stand up to the forces of darkness? Did he choose to stay and fight when it would have been safer to run? Was he tempted by darkness and hurt his friends in a vain attempt to wield it? Until the story advances further, we simply won't know. But whatever happened obviously had a devastating effect on Xehanort's development as a young person and his worldview. His fragile young mind, so vulnerable from the disaster he likely just witnessed, and may have been even partially responsible for, is now ripe to be molded by an external force. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if that external force had a hand in the disaster in the first place.
Master of Masters.
Around this time, it is implied that Xehanort came in contact with a strange man known as the Master of Masters, who gave him a black coat to ward off darkness. That man may have told him about a great many things during their initial conversation, and I believe that at some point, Dark Road will cover that first encounter. As this actually hasn't happened in Dark Road yet, and would be purely speculation to discuss, it is best left until my next video, further exploring Xehanort's motivations. But the fated encounter was clearly something that the Master of Masters needed to happen in order to enact his grand plan. The last thing we have chronologically seen in Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, so far, is Xehanort returning to Wonderland and allowing himself to be captured so that he can be brought in front of the Queen of Hearts and her darkness once more. He is pleased to see the darkness, clearly confirming whatever suspicions he was holding about its nature and ability to hide inside people. Did the students perhaps believe they had eradicated the darkness, only for Xehanort to suspect that it still resided in people's hearts? Again, these are the questions that will be addressed as the story progresses. I imagine we will see him revisit
that
many,
was
many more
episode
Disney
2?
worlds as part of his world tour, and again it is implied that he will encounter a lot more darkness. We know this because soon after, he will return to the Master of Masters' side, as evidenced by the cutscene we have seen during Kingdom Hearts 3's Reminds DLC, where the Master of Masters asks him how the world tour went. Here, the Master of Masters will cement Xehanort's beliefs, stoking the dark fires that burn within him, and making the decision to walk down the dark path irreversible. This is of course not part of Dark Road, and though it again may be covered in the Dark Road art style at some point, given how pertinent the conversation is, I feel like it is worth including here. As said, the Master of Masters asks how this world tour went, and Xehanort responds by saying that it taught him the very reason for his existence. The people that live in these worlds appear to enjoy peaceful lives, full of kindness and virtues, but it's all a total sham. There is a darkness in the pit of every heart. The light is a farce.
Yeah, we knew
Xehanort relays
this.
the things that he saw. Those that are weak attempts to seize power from those that already have it, corrupting themselves with darkness. This begets others, now weaker than them, to attempt to steal their power, and the cycle continues endlessly, forever deepening the darkness. And all the while, the people are convincing themselves that they are doing what is right. Xehanort cannot abide what he has seen. They are all weak in his eyes. None of these fools hold any real
So this
power.
cutscene
They will just
happens
squabble endlessly and
before
chaotically over any
he
scraps of
goes to
power
the
they can get their
future
hands
to
on.
become
And in their escalating cycle of
young
backstabbing and power grabbing,
Xehanort,
they will inevitably
one of
cause
the 13
casualties,
darknesses.
eventually taking their world down with them. There needs to be order, or else all worlds will fall to this chaotic cycle of destruction, just as they did in the Keyblade War.
Yep.
And in Xehanort's eyes, ruling with darkness is the only path. For their own good, the people need to be ruled by darkness. The Master of Masters prods him towards affirming his worldview, that one day Xehanort will be wielding the darkness, and he won't need to worry about some silly old coats to protect him. Xehanort can feel this destined path within himself. After all, his future is already etched upon his heart.
Yeah.
He doesn't realize it yet, but his every action is preordained.
Oh no, this is
given
after
that,
he goes to the
in
future.
order to
Never
have ever
mind.
left Destiny Islands in the first place, his future self had to travel back in time and set himself on the path. Therefore, he has no choice but to eventually become Ansem the Seeker of Darkness himself and travel back in time in order to complete the time loop. Xehanort asks the Master of Masters for his name, and though he is given a very cryptic and possibly revealing answer, Xehanort brushes it off to ask again. The Master begrudgingly answers, and though we do not get to hear what was said, Xehanort does, and the Master finishes by saying that he is a lost Master. It seems like Xehanort may be hearing these words for the first time, but he does not get the chance to ask any further questions, as the Master begins to walk away. His final words to Xehanort are,
May your heart be your guiding
key. I do wonder if now Xehanort will return to Eraqus' side and play him in chess once more, asking him directly about these lost masters. It seems that Eraqus knows more about these missing Keyblade wielders and the Keyblade War than he ever previously let on, and perhaps by this point, Xehanort has done his own research, but I will speculate on this scene in the next video. Over his years and many incarnations, Xehanort will relentlessly pursue his goals of forging the Keyblade, so that with its power, he can recreate the world as he sees fit.
Yeah, we know
and it's
this.
the events that occur in Dark Road that impose that mindset upon him. But just what will happen to him and those he cares about? What could make him so convinced that the only path forward is to wield the power of darkness and commit unspeakable acts and betrayals with it? Xehanort does not simply go forward spreading darkness for the sake of it. I really think he sees this path as the only possible
Melody of Memory spoilers follow.
way forward, lest the world inevitably be completely destroyed. Melody of Memory revealed something very interesting.
Should we watch this first then? And then return to this? I think we should. At least watch the Kairi cutscenes. Which are at the end of the game. Yeah, let's watch the Kairi cutscenes. Oh, actually, let me run an ad first then. Take a little break. We'll run an ad. All right, it's pretty interesting. Master of Masters obviously still involved. causing or manipulating people again into you following his plans. Xehanort being a unwilling puppet in the Master of Masters' grand plan to get rid of all the darkness. I swear, the man is playing 5D chess, while Xehanort is playing 4D chess. And then you have Mickey and then you have Yensid playing 3D chess. And only through the power of breaking the laws of nature was Xehanort defeated. You can't. Your power of 4D chess doesn't. Your powers of 4D chess is not effective here, Xehanort, because I break the rules. Yeah, just break the rules. And no one can say anything. Alright, once the ad is over, I'll start this. It says that the ad is done now, but I have 2 different timers, so I'm gonna wait for the second one. Alright, so right now. So this is after the melody. Okay, so Melody of Memories, by the way, is basically just Chain of Memories. And what I mean that is you're just reliving Kingdom Hearts 1, then Chain of Memories. You're reliving the entire storyline of Kingdom Hearts through like a rhythm game. And then you end up here with Kairi at the end.
This place.
I still want to see her wear the goddamn hoodie. Put on the hoodie, Kairi. Let me see your cute little ears. Or your horns, or whatever you want to call it. The final world. So Kairi ends up in the final world somehow. I mean, she's been there before with Sora. We know she has been there before, so she can probably return whenever she wants to. Or at least she's not surprised to get there. But now Chirithy isn't there. She's all alone. Okay. Oh, this is baby Kairi. This is Kairi as a baby. Or at least a child. Being chased by Heartless. Because she's a pure light. Oh. Xehanort.
This world will be engulfed in darkness. Everything you care about, and everyone you love. If you truly possess the power of a Princess of Heart, your heart will resonate with the Keyblade wielders, and I believe you can lead me to that wielder's world. That is the only possible way to save ours. You see, this is more than an experiment. It's hope. Like most, you probably believe that nothing exists outside of this world you live in. And yet, there are countless other worlds. You can see them sparkle brilliantly in the night sky. Through that sea of stars, fate will guide your ship to where you are meant to be.
So is that one of those pods?
However, If you arrive in a world that's neither of light nor darkness, but somewhere on the other side,
It is one of the pods.
your task will be far from easy. If that happens, you must abandon your search. We have failed.
Yeah, it's one of the pods. From the, I'm confused. Does she travel into the past, or does she travel into the future? Or does she just travel? Oh. It's her heart. Hmm. Kairi, you can fly? When did she learn to fly? Oh shit.
Who are you? Show your face.
Xehanort.
Not so fast, my dear.
You're the one who keeps messing with my fate. If it weren't for everything that you've done, then Sora and everyone would be safe. Even if you're not really here, and this is just a memory or illusion, I won't
Dude,
let you walk
it
away.
always comes down to Xehanort or the Master
I set you
Master.
adrift in another world and drastically alter the course of your fate. In the end, you were destroyed by my hand, paving the way for Sora's disappearance.
Fire! I'll just grab your Keyblade. You can't strike me with it if I grab it. Oh my gosh.
You've become quite the Keyblade wielder. For a retired master, Yensid prepared you remarkably well.
Nice. Yeah, you always gotta be aware that you can just dematerialize your Keyblade.
This world was created from the memories contained within your heart. You seek clues to Sora's whereabouts by using your memories of him to search through your own heart. But there's nothing for you to find here. I'm afraid the answer you seek lies in memories that are long gone.
I mean, he should also be a part of her memories, right?
Enough of this.
Oh, there's his Keyblade again. At least Kairi's gotten pretty strong. For even Xehanort to commend her, then, you know, that proves that she's gotten pretty powerful. Oh, she summoned Sora's Keyblade.
Ah, look who joined us.
Oh! Sora.
As I thought, your voice can't reach us here. Now I'm certain of where your heart is.
What? And I assume then it's like a stage, and then in the stage you beat Xehanort, and you get one of the pieces of whatever that is. I don't know what she's looking for. She used her...
Thank you, Sora.
I don't know if... I doubt that was
On the day
actually
that I
Sora.
sent you out from your world. Do you remember what it is I said to you? Those words hold the answer you seek. I may cause you to suffer, but I am a product of your heart. For that reason, I shall give you your answer.
So Melody of Memories is about Kairi confronting her memories. Or confronting her trauma, I guess. Oh! All the forms of Xehanort. And then lastly, that guy.
Before, when my heart and body were still united as one.
When you were Terra.
I told you about what would happen if we were to fail. If you arrive in a world that's neither of light nor darkness, but somewhere on the other side, your task will be far from easy.
Mm-hmm.
That is the answer I have for you.
I'm guessing he's saying that Sora is... I'm guessing he's saying Sora is in a world where that is neither light nor dark, but on the other side.
If you arrive in a world that's neither of light nor darkness, but somewhere on the other side, your task will be far from easy.
Yes, he said that's the answer.
Not of light or darkness, but on the other side?
I've never heard of a place like that.
Something else he said perplexes me.
What's that?
Your voice can't reach us. I'm certain of where your heart is.
You would assume that he's referring to the realm of darkness, but that clearly isn't the case here, wouldn't you say?
Where voices can't reach. The other side of our world. Of reality? Unreality? A fictional world?
Fictional?
Verum Rex? Yozora?
Such mysteries are beyond our comprehension.
Oh, wait. No. What the... Whatever. They say the other side of reality, right? But... And then they say unreality, fictional world. What if they are the fictional world? And Sora has arrived in reality.
Maybe Mickey or Master Yen Sid knows.
Food for thought. Food for thought.
Riku!
Maybe
Kairi.
Sora is in reality, and they are in the fictional
just
world.
now. How come you're here?
Well, actually, I found some info about Sora.
Really? We got something too.
You did? Oh,
Oh, and here we go. Here's the fairy. She just...
Oh, excuse me, dears. I certainly didn't mean to startle you. If you're not expecting magic, it can be a surprise.
no kidding.
I mean, she did arrive, like,
I am
right
a
in the
fairy
middle of them.
godmother, and it's a pleasure to meet you all.
What?
She came here at Yen Sid's request. He said she's got a clue that might help us find Sora.
Yen Sid sent you?
Yeah, it's the dreams.
To find Sora, we need 3 keys. First, Riku, and then, of course, there's you, dear Kairi.
Okay.
What's the last key?
With Riku's dreams and Kairi's memories, you two have already done your part.
Kairi's memories?
Yes. We performed an examination of Kairi's heart and obtained an important clue from the lost memories it contains, which is that There's another world on the other side of ours that's not of darkness or light.
Riku, what did you dream?
Oh. Well, since Sora disappeared, I've been having dreams about a large city with tall buildings.
Fictional world?
Apparently, that's the clue.
A city? Maybe that's what Xehanort was talking about. A fictional world.
A fictional world?
Yes, perhaps. The three realms of our world. Light, darkness, and between. These are all places we can travel to, because they are on our side. This also includes the worlds of memories, data, and dreams.
Okay,
If
yeah,
I am
makes
correct,
sense.
then this other side of our world, from which voices cannot reach, must be a place outside of our reality. Namely, it must be unreality, or fiction. But that is the extent of our knowledge.
It could be a multiverse thing, right, as well, right? Like a different universe. But
I'm not quite
they're going
sure they'll be able to
forward
help
with
you, my dear.
unreality.
Then, what now?
Or fiction.
Oh, you forget. There are 3 people who hold the key. There's still one more. One with a strong will and a very precious dream.
Who is it?
You'll see. I'll introduce you.
Huh?
Yeah, who's the last person? Alright, I want to try to predict who the last person is. One with a strong will... Wait, what did she say? Strong will and precious dream. Who could the person with a strong will and precious dream be? I'm guessing Roxas? But at the same time, it might not be Roxas. Might be Xion. But I don't know. Might be Mickey as well. But who knows? I'm sure they'll tell us. Unless it's Ephemer.
Whoa.
This place.
But that doesn't make
know it?
sense. It can't be.
Yeah.
It can't be Ephemer.
I came here with Sora.
Because
And
Ephemer doesn't
also
know
in my
Sora.
dreams while I slept. This is the final world. But there's no one here.
That's not true. Why don't you look closer?
Unless it means Yozora.
Huh?
Yeah, there are stars. Who are these stars? Well, that's a lot of them.
The stars. I never noticed.
Yes. Strong hearts gather here after death until they are ready to move on. I'm sure she's around here somewhere.
Oh, Strelitzia.
The final key.
Yeah, it's Strelitzia. But why is Strelitzia connected to Sora? That doesn't make sense. Unless it's Ava? No, it has to be Strelitzia, right? But what's her connection with Sora? Like, she met him once.
We've been searching all over for you, my dear.
Do I know you? I'm Kairi. It's a pleasure to meet you.
You're all able to retain your appearance in this world. I met someone else who could do that.
So she's the final key?
That's right, dear. Now we finally have all 3.
But how exactly can she help?
It's simple. She came from the world on the other side.
Oh, yeah,
You
yes.
see, she's very special. Her form was taken from her, but she managed to find her way here. If she goes back to her world, her heart will certainly be stolen. Right, dear?
Oh, yes. It seems you know a lot about me.
A little. And I would use my magic to change you back if I could. But I'm afraid that's impossible while you're in this form. Don't fret, though. I believe that we'll find a way to make your dream come true very soon.
My dream? Come true?
I want to help make that happen. Will it lead us to Sora?
Oh, I'm afraid it's not that simple.
It's never that simple.
First, we must get to her world. She can open a path for us, and you can use the power of waking to go there.
The power of waking.
Sorry, but did I hear you say Sora?
Yes.
Wait, do you know him?
Yes. He was here. He encouraged me not to give up. Did something happen to him?
Oh.
Yeah. Sora disappeared.
He died.
He's a good friend of ours. So we've been looking for him.
He died?
Right now, we think he's in a big city full of tall buildings. Ring any bells?
A city full of tall buildings. Quadratum?
Quadratum.
It has more skyscrapers than any other city I know. That must be it.
Quadratum. Is that where Sora is?
There's no way of knowing. But I believe it is possible.
All right. Think you can help us?
I'm not sure exactly what's happening. But if Sora is in trouble, I want to help.
Good.
Please let me know what you need from me.
Good.
Thanks.
Good. The car key. Oh, a portal.
I'm afraid this is as much as I can do. It's up to you, Riku, to take care of the rest.
I want to go.
Kairi, that's not...
Yeah, I know.
No, just tell
I
him.
want to go with you.
Tell him you are going. Be like, fuck
But-
you. No, I'm going.
I know that I can't. I need to finish training. I need to become stronger. And when I do, I'll be right there next to you and Sora.
Good.
But first, I'll go explain everything. To Donald and Goofy, and to Mickey and Master Yen Sid.
Be careful out there, dear, and try not to do anything too reckless. Come straight back if you encounter any trouble.
I will.
I wonder if we're gonna have a three-way split story in Kingdom Hearts 4. We'll have Riku parts, Kairi parts, and Sora parts. Because the feeling I get from this is that Riku is going to the other side to get Sora, to help Sora, or save him. And so that'll be a thing we will probably control. And then Kairi explains everything to these guys.
Riku went alone? But that's way too dangerous. I have to go after him now.
No!
Do not be hasty, Mickey.
But Master Yen said He's all alone in a world we know nothing about.
He'll be fine.
Precisely. We have never faced something like this before. Which is why we must remain calm.
Calm.
But...
Don't be hasty, Gandalf reference. I mean, Yensid is basically Gandalf, right?
From Xehanort during his time as a researcher?
Yes.
Then that means he must have been aware of this other world for quite some time.
But we defeated Xehanort. Is there anybody else we can ask?
When I was still serving as a Keyblade Master, it was known that the Ancient Masters had crossed over into another world. I surmised that Xehanort looked more deeply into that world.
The ancient Keyblade Masters.
The ancient bit of a dual beard. It is a bit of a dual beard, you're right.
Radiant Garden, the land of departure and Twilight Town, who are searching for Sora, to inform them of what we have learned and have them halt their respective efforts. Donald, Goofy, I leave this to you.
Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
And Kairi, will you continue your training?
God, I want Kairi to be the main character of the next game. It would be so perfect.
I'd like to study under Master Aqua.
Yes!
That is an excellent idea. I approve.
Thank you.
And you, Mickey.
Yes.
I task you with the investigation of this new world.
Wait.
And how it is related to the ancient Keyblade Masters.
So Mickey is allowed to go and help Riku after all. Like, no, you can't go, Mickey.
You'll begin in the world of Scala ad Kailum.
An oath to return. Kingdom Hearts. Okay. So Riku is in Quadratum. Mickey is going to what is Kingdom Hearts going to be? Is it going to be like I can't even begin to think what it's going to be. Like, who do you play as? Do you play as Sora? Do you play as Riku? Mickey? God damn, it's so much. Let's finish this though, because
interesting said by Xehanort
this is a
during
thing.
his time as an apprentice, and that is what I would like to explore next. To what depths will Xehanort go to save his world? And from what threat is he saving it from? Melody of Memory implies that it is the existence of fictional worlds outside the reality of the Kingdom Hearts universe that may hold the key to either the Kingdom Hearts universe's salvation or destruction. And I can't help but wonder if these worlds might be where the 7 upperclassmen may have been sent to. Perhaps even some of Xehanort's own classmates. It does seem that these worlds are where the Foretellers, the Master of Masters, and now most recently, Sora was sent to. And hell, given that we still haven't seen Demyx or Luke Sword's original forms in Union Cross yet, these worlds may be where they originate from too. But yes, that is the story of Dark Road and its complementary material so far. I'm honestly really enjoying the rollout of story content so far. It seems a lot more organised and perhaps thought out than Key and Union Cross did. And I really like that the interactions with the Disney characters are clearly relevant and almost metaphorical to what Xehanort is learning as he travels. I'm very suspicious of Master Odin so far. He's certainly one of my prime suspects to be Lushu's current vessel. And I really want to know why the islands of Scala are abandoned, and why Emblem Heartless are appearing now. But hopefully we will get the answers to these questions that hopefully don't have the answer that they were just in a data world the entire time. Also, I know family's barely relevant in the Kingdom Hearts series, but does Xehanort have a family who misses him? Or is he some sort of artificial, heartless being that was created specifically for this purpose, and stamped with the requisite sigil? A pawn of the Master of Masters from the moment he was born. Who knows? But what I do know is that I want to thank you for watching this video. We've got so much to talk about coming off the back of Melody of Memory still, so I hope you'll subscribe and check out what lies in store for the future of the series. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.
Oh, I clicked the wrong button. No, I didn't mean to run an ad. Oh, you know what? It's fine, because I need to look up something anyway. Dark Road episode. Is there an episode 4? There is an episode 4. Is there an episode 5? There apparently is an episode 5. How many episodes are there of Dark Road? Dark Road final episode. Hold on, let me have a
Throughout
look here.
the entire Xehanort
Playlists. Do you have a Dark Road? Dark Road story cutscenes, Dark Road guide. Do you not have theories, podcast shorts, state of the heart? You feel playlists. Chapter 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it looks like episode 3 is just the final one. There's nothing else after chapter 3. Interesting. But that's everything I wanted to watch today. Literally everything. There doesn't look like to be anything else. So yeah. Tomorrow, this also concludes all of my Kingdom Hearts stuff. Tomorrow we start this game, the monkey game. So if you don't want to, I haven't seen anything from this game, nothing at all. I mean, except pictures. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, that was everything from Kingdom Hearts, from the beginning to Melody of Memories. And it is interesting to see. I mean, I guess there's one thing we could do, and that is Kingdom Hearts 4 teaser. We could see watch this, you know, just to watch the Kingdom Hearts 4 teaser. Development footage subject to change. I guess we're watching in Japanese. Wait, hold on. Is there an English version of this? There should be. There's this fan dub. Oh, is there not an actual dub? Hold on. That's 20th. Which is this. Missing link and all of that bullshit. I don't really care about that. The Lost Masters arc. This is what I want. Okay, so it's only Japanese. Then leave this world for another. The heart resides within the soul, which is in turn guided by the fate to its rightful place. The choice is yours once more. Look how real he looks, chat. Look how real he looks. No longer wearing oversized clothes. Oh. Streletsia. Similar to an afterworld for Keyblade wielders. Oh gosh. Hey guys, look, it's a Heartless. It's a giant dark side looking thing. Is it weird that it's kind of jarring to see Sora be in not oversized clothes with regular boots? Oh, Sora has chains. So that looks really weird. Sora has normal proportions. I kinda hate it. I don't want a normal I don't want a proportional Sora. Oh, who that? Masters of Masters? Master of Masters? Kingdom Hearts 4. Kingdom Hearts 4. Donald. Oh yeah, because they were sent to find to tell people about stuff. Sure hope he can help. Hades! Magic in the making. Donald and Goofy being sent to Hades for help. Alright. That's it for today. It's been almost 2 hours. No, almost 3 hours. What the hell? Almost 3 hours. Tomorrow we monkey. I hope people have enjoyed this Kingdom Hearts line, this arc. Look at how much Kingdom Hearts there's on my YouTube channel. All the way down here. This is 30 days. This is 30 days. I mean, not everything is 30 days, but like, you know. Actually, no, everything is 30 days, and then it goes down all the way down here. Like 70 days of basically just Kingdom Hearts. Thank you all for watching today. We even fixed my stream in the middle of this because it was broken for some people. So that's nice. Tomorrow we monkey. Tomorrow we monkey. With Black King Wukong? No. Black Myth Wukong. There's gonna be a lot of monkey business going on. Anyway. This is gonna be the last time you hear me say this, so get it memorized. Until next time, may your heart be your guiding key. Take care, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.